console. I'm like, I don't know. Last I checked, I still got exclusives. I don't know what you're doing. My man, like 14-0. I'm like, what does that mean? The 14 games that you get and 0 of them are exclusive? Like what?
Excuse me. Pardon me. Ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with a very dear man, my brother, my Latin brother, my man P-Rock. I know he's been missing. Y'all been asking me, yo, Z, what's up with Puertorock? Where he at? You know what I mean? When he's here, I told you he was away, but he's back. We're going to have a entertaining show today. We're going to talk about any and everything, man. As you guys come in, you know the rules that you guys come in. Hit the like button. We should have a very, entertaining show today, to say the least. Puertorock, what's going on with you, good brother? I haven't physically spoken to you in some weeks, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Yeah, man. Other than Twitter, man, I just been out of the area, out of the house and shit like that for work related stuff. And man, so much juicy shit, and I was salivating.
I know.
Damn, bro. But I'm here today to hit you up. We're gonna catch up on some shit. Gonna make motherfuckers cry.
Yeah, we got some fun here today, man.
Shit like that.
Yeah. But have you been playing anything, or you just strictly been at work?
Oh, so no. Last couple of days, haven't been playing anything. The last thing I've been playing is Days Gone. I'm gonna get back to that today and stuff like that.
You know what's crazy, bro? I got the collector's edition. I swear to God, I haven't even booted the game up. I've been playing Mortal Kombat and
How did you like Red Dead Redemption 2? Like,
you know what, bro? I didn't like the controls.
Okay, so the controls are better. My problem with Days Gone is similar. I think or how would you say, tired of open world games. I'm exhausted.
Too much.
No, because like you have to do a lot of mundane shit. Like go over here and do this, and then go all the way over here to do that. And it's like.
Yeah, that's my issue also, bro.
Like right now, I'm in the mode to just go straight through a game, you know, like level by level.
That's been in my. I always think I hate open world games. There's too much going on in the world. That's why I'm not a big fan of like GTA stuff.
Fetch quests. Yeah. I was like, I think I'm all tired out. I'm like, man, this shit's. I mean, it's all right, but I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing it, but it just didn't click with me. Like, it's just. I think it's like an open world curse for me.
Well, here's the thing. Well, and again, like I said, that you guys, if you're those guys who just said that on just join, so that you guys come in with Puertorock, I hit the like button. We're gonna have that you guys. If you're those guys who have an entertaining show today, I got one like that who just liked it already, but we're gonna have some fun today. Fucking damn, god damn it. God damn it! Fuck that water. Like I said, do you think so much is like being a fetch quest game, or is the game just not that good in your opinion? In your honesty,
it's I think what's hurting one, or I say like this, it's taking too long for really to hit the climax.
Mm-hmm.
So and a lot of people when I said this, a lot of people were like, wait till you get to the third camp, wait till you get to the third tab. And I'm thinking. So think about it this way: if you were to watch a show, would you wait 8 hours of boring and still stick with the show? Like at a certain point, you have to hit the main. You have to hit a good portion quickly. Yeah. So I'm like, it's taking too long to get to the good stuff. You know, I'm sure if you push through it, you might hit a point where, all right, now the game's getting good.
I'll give you an example.
Fuck, how long does it take?
I'll give you an example. And shout out to Sony, you did a good job with this, right? At God of War, right? It came on. You know, you had the little.
That shit was quick. Like, it didn't take long to get to the point.
Yeah, leave my.
Yeah, when that fight happened quick, you were like, oh shit! Like it got you in, and it kept going. Mm-hmm. Days Gone, it takes a while to get, and even then, by that point, I'm like, fuck, I'm really tired of this. The only thing that's saving it for me at this point is. One, fast travel system's better than Red Dead. You could kind of like Assassin's Creed or Fallout, you could fast travel anywhere. I mean, there's a little restriction when it comes to fuel and shit, but I don't have to. It's not like Red Dead where I have to go to a coach or a train station to actually fast travel. I could fast travel from anywhere on the map just as long as I have the fuel, right? So that saves it so I could do missions a little bit quicker. And then the second thing is this whole big deal about fighting the Horde. Apparently that's like a fucking, like, that's just some real shit. So I want to do that. So that's what's saving me. If it wasn't for those two things, I probably would have stopped playing it and moved on to another game. To be honest.
All right, so I got something jumping off in the back. Hold on. Listen, as you guys come in, hit the like button. Again, we're gonna have a entertaining show today. I just put it out on Twitter. Let me copy, right, paste something. I hear something ringing in my ear. Who the hell is that? Let me see. We got shout out to my brother, the Ruham. I said, what up, ZMP Rock? You guys need to bring back the Streets podcast. Great show, guys. Yeah, my man, it's his work schedule. You know
what I mean? Man, that's what's killing everything.
Yeah, we're gonna be back soon, my man. Get it together. We're gonna be back soon.
We're trying to get that together. Try to get my channel right. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I can live stream the Steam E3 presentation June 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern. I mean, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Let me say, Puertorock, it's been a lot been going on, bro.
Wow.
I don't even know where to start at. Right now, this is crazy. I'm gonna take like we're gonna take it in segments, right? Because I want to talk about crossplay. Let the room fill up first. I guess we talk about crossplay now, right?
Okay.
When crossplay was first brought up, right, was maybe about 6-7 months ago, right? I know it was on your channel. I was on your dog shit channel, and what's the guy name? What's the goddamn guy that did the
Sick humor?
Yeah, and I remember when you talking to each other behind the scenes, inboxing each other, like, yo, bro, I can't with this guy, right? But he had some weird stands. Like, bro, let me tell you something. Look, this is the thing. Now, it's one thing I always give you credit. Like I said, we get into character, we have fun, we bug out. But it's one thing that's called common goddamn sense. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You can't spin it, you know what I mean? But even with crossplay, and you had your own mixed emotions about it. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, as I said before, I'm all about moving the industry forward. What just means just buying one goddamn copy of the game and having fun. That's always been my stance, you know what I mean? Then you had, Sony's been kind of against it at the start. Well, I think it was with Fortnite, right? Fortnite was the first game? Whatever the game it was, but Sony was kind of against it. Things where they was, keeping your Epic count or something tied to their box. Something very anti-consumerism or whatever the case may be. But since the handshake behind closed door with Microsoft, about them using XOR, it seemed like we just silently got this push. Now, just shout out to Neff. We got to take our L's about this one. When we said, as far as Call of Duty, they make some money with the DLC packs. They're doing cross. You said you want to see the big games? Yeah. Like, I was just playing, what's that game? Dauntless or whatever it's called? I did that Wednesday, I think it was. They had me in their dog shit, like a low budget monster. It's okay. But it's free to play, and they was on PC. I was on my Xbox. I was on the PS4. We all were talking to each other. Like, that shit was like, to me, that was just epic. And we were just saying, like, bro, now we gotta wait and see the big third parties will get on board with this. And money hungry as Activision is, that shit came out of nowhere. Talking about free DLC and crossplay between PC, PS4, and Xbox. I don't want to play with any PC guys, but that's another fucking conversation. But like, bro, we might just be here. You playing Matt on your PS4? I'm playing Matt on the Xbox. Like, what are your thoughts about all this? Like, it's just happening so fast.
So when we talked about this, I told him that for the most part, until the big three gets involved, no one really cares about crossplay.
Yeah.
And so like for example, Fortnite, they took out the dual mode or one of the modes of crossplay for Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. No one made us think about it, right? Epic Games, they took away, I guess, cross progression. So, like any new people who join Fortnite, they can't do that no more. Some people don't even know that happened. Why? Because no one give a fuck. When I tell people, unless I see Call of Duty, Battlefield, Madden 2K, no one gives a fuck because no one really has a conversation of who's the better gamer between an Xbox gamer Fortnite or a PlayStation gamer Fortnite. Yeah, okay. No one gives a fuck because what they're going to do, a dance-off?
Yeah.
No one really cares. To get crossplay, and we said this, I think we both said this, if you really want crossplay to get big, you got to get the games that actually matter, and it's Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the number one selling game every goddamn year for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
That is the game people want to crossplay. Then you throw in Battlefield, throw in Mortal Kombat, throw in Madden, throw in 2K. These are the games. Rocket League, no one gives a fuck. Like, who gives a fuck? No one really gives a fuck. Sure, oh, look at this Twitter account. No one gives. Most of the people talking about it don't even play these games. Like, have you Nitos ever thought about, hey, let's do Rocket League? No one gives a fuck.
Speaking of
Call of Duty, Battlefield, I guarantee we all will rock that.
Hold on.
Because that's what matters.
Hold on 1 second. Speaking of Needles in the chat right now, being messy. Needles, he said, spent $5. Shout out to you. Dollars already at 6 million players after their week, and 6% of the party uses crossplay. So much for a niche feature, and no one cares.
All right, now. How about this? Charge Dauntless for $60, and we'll see how many people actually play that piece of shit. Nobody. The real games, bro. When we look at Call of Duty, that's the shit we want to play. $60 every year, and it's the number one selling thing every fucking year. That's what we want. We want Call of Duty. We want Madden. We want 2K. We want Battlefield. We want the big guns. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? All these free to play shits is a bunch of cheapo casuals that don't buy games. Of course they're gonna jump on a new game. The motherfuckers, the last game these dudes play is fucking Apex. You know what I'm saying? So these motherfuckers ain't buying games. They they've been playing Apex. Now another new free game come out and they all rush to that shit, right?
Yeah.
What we really want to play is motherfucking Call of Duty. That's the shit we gonna play.
That's the game. Hey, hold on, they started already in the chat. Gotti game, Gotti 3 said Gotti in this bitch. What up, Z? Shout out to Gotti. Darrell or Big Kahuna. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. What's up, Kahuna? Hey, hold on.
We got post up.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm on the air, bro. I'll hit you right back. All right. Yeah, you post up. You said keep listening to P-Rock and be led astray, just like he did with the cloud, fuck nigga. Oh man.
Alright, fuck nigga. Hey, when I play games on PlayStation, that shit's coming, bitch. Day one on Steam.
Stone said, can someone please explain the 14.0? What's the O mean? I guess meaning Sony's not gonna be there, but Microsoft announced, what's up, Microsoft? Phil Spencer announced that there will be 14 first-party titles. We're going to go over the list, too. I'm not really impressed. Anita's back again. Crossplay was not removed from the Switch. The story was reported on incorrectly. The Switch players are searched with mobile players. I guess they pay remote players. And console players are in a later as you keep searching.
What is he talking about?
He said you said something about crossplay with the
Switch.
He said the story was reported incorrectly.
Let me pull that fucking story.
He says incorrectly. But crossplay was not removed from the Switch. I would know. The story was reported incorrectly. Switch players are searched with the mobile players, and console players are in later as you keep searching. So when you first search, how it goes, they put the Switch players with the cell phone guys, the Android unit. As you keep searching, then it pairs them with the console. Is what he's saying. But anyway, so for this to be the first game, right? First big game. Again, we're talking about one of the biggest games. What are your thoughts? And again, I'm just looking at it like, damn, this is just, bro, you know the chats that go down. You know the console wars that go on that we have here. You know, imagine they have it like you kill, like I said before, you kill 10 PS3 guys in the match. I mean, PS4 guys in the match, whatever the game. Like, that's the way that I look at it. Like, what are your thoughts about it now? Being that this is a first huge game, are you excited or something?
Oh, yeah. That's the game that matters. I don't give a fuck about no Rocket League. That's the game that matters. Shit, I hope they do Madden. So, because I got suckered by it on Xbox, and none of y'all play the shit. Fuck.
Hey, I ain't no Madden player, but yeah. I ain't no Madden player. Did you ever play,
Baron?
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat me by a touchdown.
Yeah, I know Baron. That's Baron shit there. That motherfucking, Madden. But anyway, like I said.
It was 14-7.
So, like I said, we have Call of Duty.
But Call of Duty's a game changer.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially shooters. So Battlefield's gonna be next. They gotta keep up with them.
I know the talk is about free maps, which makes sense.
Free DLC, map pack.
So it makes sense because if you're gonna do if you're gonna do crossplay, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to give the maps for free because if you don't, then right there you split the community, which then kind of makes crossplay. You kind of fucking up the system then, because not everybody buys the maps, right?
Yeah.
And if everybody don't have the maps, then by default, there's going to be certain people you can't play with.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? So you always have to make it an even play field for everybody to have access to everybody. You know, like let's say me and you fucking, we buy the maps, right? Mm-hmm. But post up cheap ass because he's on Cody, he doesn't get the maps. So then, what the fuck? How are we gonna crossplay with him if he don't have the maps? You know what I'm saying? Same thing, So. The maps kind of have to be free if, you want the crossplay. Now, Activision could be doing some slick shit if they don't really mean free maps. Because they could put let's say for example, let's say Moss, he plays with us, but he doesn't like really Call of Duty, right?
Mm-hmm.
But me and you on Xbox, I'm on PlayStation. We have the maps, but Moss doesn't, right? And he's on PC.
Mm-hmm.
If Moss doesn't buy the maps, then he can't crossplay with us. So then Moss be like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to buy the map since Z has it, you have it, and we all need to crossplay. So that could be some slick shit, Activision could be doing too. By merging everybody together, it kind of peer pressures people into buying the maps. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, then you can't crossplay with nobody. As the maps come out, you kind of ask yourself out if you don't keep up with the maps yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I can see Activision doing some dumb shit like that.
Mm-hmm. But again, so like I said, it's a start, right? And again, like I said, one of the biggest games to do it. I didn't see this coming. I thought maybe because I know the not Midway, I call them Warner Brothers or NetherRealm Studios. They were talking about they wouldn't mind doing it for Mortal Kombat, and the creators of Tekken said they wouldn't mind doing it. But again, I'm excited and I'm ecstatic. So again,
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, Activision saying they're doing it, everybody's gonna follow suit. Because at this point, let's say like if you're EA, you don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. Like I said, yeah.
The biggest game on the market is doing it. Now everybody has to do it. Battlefield has to do it. You can't release the next Battlefield
without crossplay.
You can't, because it's gonna make your product look inferior next to the big gun. Yeah. Everybody has to do it, and I guarantee between 2K and Madden, one of those two is gonna do it first. And they have to. One of them two is gonna do it.
Yeah,
they have to.
Yeah, they have to. They
have to.
Again, like
and if I were to say anyone's gonna do it first, it might be EA. I think Madden. I think EA might do it Madden first. I think they might do it. Yeah.
Even Madden comes out and
I think they'll do it Madden, FIFA, and I think they might do it with Live, because if they could, like next year's Live, right?
That's a huge
if they could advertise it with crossplay, then that's an advertising edge over 2K.
They
could easily try to do that, and then 2K will have no choice but to make the game crossplay to compete.
That is like I said, that is will be a huge selling point for them. But again, like I said, kudos to that. I'm gonna get your feedback on that. I'm gonna come back to the topic in a minute. Also, since the last time we convened and stuff, last time you came on a multiplayer podcast. I forgot what was the topic then. But again, this back alley deal with Microsoft and Sony came out of nowhere, right? More or less, right? Yeah. But we did have signs along the way. You had the interview. What's the guy named? The Husky guy. Oh my God, with the beard. Sean Layton. Saying, the way they want to grow their business. I got the articles in a minute. I'll bring them up in a minute. Saying, basically, consoles are a dying medium. They have to look to expand their business beyond that. Now I'm paraphrasing, right? Now, Sony.
Well, Sean Layton didn't say that. That's
no. I'm gonna bring up the article. I have it. Something along. Not saying it's a dying medium, but they want to expand their business outside of the console. Give me 1 second. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm gonna bring up the actual article in 1 second. You're gonna see what I'm gonna holler. I'm bringing it up for you 1 minute. Actually, let me go to my web browser here. Mighty Moss. What Moss talking about? Let me see. Mighty Moss.
Moss said $2. He said fuck crossplay better.
He said what? Crossplay.
He said cross progression is better.
Oh yeah, and shout out to what's the game? Dalton. It's a free to play game. It does have cross progression because if you hop in with your Epic account on your PS4 or whatever other system you.
And Moss, you better put some respect on Epic Games. Steam look on these streets. They need Microsoft games.
Hey, to my man P-Rock spoke some coke before the show. Don't start that shit, y'all. But on the screen here, I'm gonna get these articles up. So who just ran Lamont? AP the shooter, what's going on, good brother? What's good? Well, niggas finally got a notification. Y'all found P-Rock, and where's that fake wrestler at? Laughing my ass off, man. Someone was somebody in the headlock, man. But anyway, we of course we had the multiplayer on yesterday, right? And the multiplayer is not really the type of show to try to, how you say, to drop knowledge or bring the facts. Right, 12 Titans in the cloud. Bunch of
we bring it. You gonna believe me? Oh,
you're lying ass, right? So we put Jabari on the top rope. Everybody took turns, his body slammed him off the top goddamn rope last and DDTing them and shit, right? And we're talking about Sony, and this is different, and their business models and what they see as far as their business, not what we think about it. Their business. They have the mainstream business model, so PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, how they provided their customers with media with the CD and DVD. For the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4, how they make their money is through Blu-ray and downloads. And then for the next generation, which will be the PlayStation 5, it's gonna be Blu-ray download plus streaming.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this here, the game I'm gonna expand this chart here, will be a key part of next generation PlayStation, focusing on reaching the 99%, not just the 1%. Bernie Sanders is the new CEO, by the way. Yeah. And then you see here the 99%, the console's crossed off, and they're looking to bolster the service. They at right now 700,000. The service has been around since the PlayStation 3, the Vita and stuff like that, and to grow. And again, the only way to grow the numbers are by adding content. And I don't know how is that missed in translation, because those who are going to buy it, they're going to buy it, whatever the case may be. But how are your thoughts about this, and you being a console gamer, and Sony saying, hey, I'm looking to give the gamers a console-like experience, let me say this, without the PlayStation. Give them somebody, this is what he said, a PlayStation experience without the PlayStation. How do you feel? Remember, again, we went back and forth, and I told you guys, we talked about it, I said, hey, it was kind of shocked the hell out of me, like what do you call that goddamn thing? What you call that thing from Google? Project Cloud, whatever it's called, Project Yeti, whatever I was testing, right? And P-Rock, I told you before, this is before me knowing the specs of the thing. I'm like, oh shit, this shit here works. Now, this is before me knowing what was, they didn't have the event to March something, 13th or 12th or whatever. This one they said what they had, but the minimum specs were 15 up, 15 down. The optimal experience was 25 up, 25 down. I have 300 up and 300 down. And I was like, damn, this should look better than what's on my Xbox. The same game looks better graphically. And again, motherfuckers thought I was just, how you say, me next year. I know my integrity is always in question, but I was dead ass. Then I come to find out what they had in the cloud and what was powering the goddamn game. I was like, god damn. And again, it fucking worked. It was actually scared the shit out of me, right? So I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? And like I said, motherfuckers go back and forth. And a lot of people think that it had a negative connotation about the, streaming may have had either played on live or maybe even tried it PlayStation Now. Oh, streaming, like, it even sounds crazy me saying it, right? And everything, again, is predicated on if it works. Because this when it comes down, I was trying to tell a bunch of people, we are what's called the 1%, right? The die-hard, hardcore console gamers, right? The 99%, I'll give it to such as my grandson and Maya, right? Who don't care how they consume their media, right? They can play Fortnite, whether it's on the TV, their phone, Android tablet, iPad, as long as they're playing Fortnite. They don't give a fuck. And again, they outnumber us shit 95 to 1. You know what I mean? How do you feel in way that you think the industry as far as is going? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so can you click to the slide, the one that has the graph, the little chart? You know what I'm talking about? All right, the one with that says 5 million on it.
Here.
Let me see.
Here. Nope, that's not this one. Let me get back. That's not it. I got it.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
the one that one with the 5 million. That one, right? Yeah, next one. The one that was next to it. The one that was next to it with the little curve that was curving up. That one right there. No, go back down. That one right there. Down. No, down.
Oh, I'm ahead of you. Hold on. I got a picture.
Oh, you're ahead of me? Oh shit, man. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, you talking about this one right here?
Let me see. The one that has the little curve.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's there.
Let me see. Let me look. Because I'm looking at the stream.
It says plan to expand PS Now to reach 5.
That one. That curve. Okay, so right there. So pass, right? So it's clear that Sony is, there's no damage control, I'm all about whatever the company says. If a company says it and they preach it and they fucking, they actually make official statements, then it is what it is. There's no damage control. Remember when I told y'all 2 years ago, Microsoft saying they want to put the games everywhere?
Yeah.
You got to take it at face value. They're telling you they're putting the games everywhere.
Yes.
There's no damage control, right? And everybody's like, oh, no, it's only Microsoft stores and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm like, the motherfucker's telling you everywhere, bro. You can't redefine. Well, now Sony is doing the same thing.
Yes.
The charts don't lie. You understand what I'm saying?
And this is from the company.
Yeah. So there's no doubt they're gonna go also push streaming. Right? It's not a coincidence that they're paying services for Microsoft so they could use their Azure cloud service to push their own PS Now shit. Right? Okay. So let's clarify let's take out the bullshit from the truth, from the facts. All right.
Okay.
Let's start with the simple shit first. All right. Sony is the customer seeking cloud services from Microsoft. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Based on everything we got, they had a deal, or they still have a deal with Amazon, so they're using their servers too. All right. So people gotta understand, Sony's not in the business of providing cloud infrastructure. They're in the business of needing cloud infrastructure for what they want to do with it. People gotta understand the difference. They're not competing with Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, or any other provider of cloud services, right? They're the customer that needs cloud services, right? And Sony doesn't need to really build their own because it's cheaper to have somebody else that already has it. You know, and everybody does that. Governments do that. Other companies do that. They don't build their own cloud infrastructure. They rent it for somebody else that already built it. It's cheaper, right? So that's the first thing people got to understand. Sony's not a competitor for cloud. So this is not like Guy versus xCloud.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything for Sony. Sony's the customer that wants cloud so they could use it for their own PS Now infrastructure and shit like that. And they have a deal with Microsoft. You know, whatever the deal was they did, hey, we'll give you this, you give us that, we'll give you money, whatever it is. Sony's a customer. They want to use their cloud servers for PS Now. That's so let's get that clear here. It has nothing to do with games or Sony making games for Microsoft. That comment say, yeah, Twitter is fun to talk shit, but on podcast, people was doing that, and I'm thinking, man, these guys are retarded thinking about that, right? So with that stuff, the reason why you brought that on chart, that 5 million mark right there, right, seems like it's key to Sony's plan. Because if you notice, once they reach that mark, they expect that curve to go super high, right? I think right now, based on what Sony's able to do, they're able to, with what they have now, able to fill 5 million, users or whatever, subscribers. That's the capacity.
Wait,
and beyond that, based on the chart.
No, their key is to get it to 5 million.
Yeah,
I'm saying? 5 million capacity. They want to go from 700,000, because right now, if between the PS3 and the PS4, which was explained to me, they're at 700,000, right? To bolster that numbers and to make more money, whatever, most of them give something like 5 billion, whatever. They, they're going to put more content inside, the service is going to grow, but they want to get it up to 5 million paid members. You know what I mean?
No, so I talk this right now on their infrastructure. They can support up to 5 million. This is before the Microsoft deal. That's where they capped at. So Sony's infrastructure, yes, of course they want to get it up to 5 million, but right now that's all they could support with what they have now. With Microsoft deal, they're able to go beyond that.
Okay, either.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it says 5 million capacity.
Okay.
That's what they can do with what they have now. All right. The dotted lines is beyond that, and that's where Microsoft Azure servers play a big role in that. You know what I'm saying? Azure servers is providing them with the capacity to go beyond 5 million. Right. The question is, when is Sony going to pull, press the button to make games day and date on PS Now? Is it going to be at the start of the gen? Is it going to be when they introduce PS5? Are they going to wait maybe 2 years so that way they grab the big bulk of the PS5 users, and then at that point, okay, we got, boom, put the engage? That I can't tell you.
I don't know. I have a different way of thinking about it, right? All right, I'm just going by the 5 million, right? Yeah. And I forgot who brought it up yesterday, right? The only way, not the only way, to bolster that number to get it to 5, because right now you get 700,000, right? Them old PS3 titles and Killzone and that is not going to do it. To get it up to 5 million, you're going to have to put attractive software in there. You know what I mean? Now, will it be the start? Because if you go back to here, hold on, I'm going to bring up the chart. Your chart here. Right here. Strengthen content. Which is strengthen content marketing plan. Streaming to play a key role. But anyway, like I said, it's planning to expand PS Now to reach 5 million subscribers, right? And again, the only way to, because they have, like I said, them putting Killzone or, Killzone, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, that's not going to get you 5 million goddamn subscribers. You know what I mean?
But you got to look, you got to look at Sony, though. Sony's in a unique position compared to everybody else. You understand what I'm saying? Because they actually have a console. Like, all right, so they're fighting to get 5 million PS Now subscribers, right? When PS5 launches, that console could sell 5 million in 3 months. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, the console.
Okay.
Which leads to PSN Plus subscribers, which leads to game sales. You understand what I'm saying? everybody's trying to compare Sony to Google. Google don't have a console, so they don't have a scale to balance. Google has nothing to balance out. They go 100% all in streaming because that's all they got. Amazon has nothing to balance out. They're going 100% streaming because that's all they got. They got nothing to worry about. They have nothing else to worry about, but other than how we're going to get gaming into people's hands, and the only method they're really doing it is through streaming, right? Microsoft, they don't give a fuck about anything at this point. They don't give it. They'll put games on a Cracker Jack box at this point. They don't give a fuck, you know? And like, I mean, you could just see over the last 2 weeks, right? Sony out there, oh, Neo 2 demo, oh, fucking Death Stranding. And what does Microsoft do? We put in Game Pass on PC. Oh, and we put in Gears. Like, they don't even talk about Xbox anymore. They don't give a fuck. They're gonna put this shit. So Microsoft is worry free, right? Sony, on the other hand, though, they have a console. They could get 5 million console sales on PS5 within 3 months. Snap of a finger. Easy.
PlayStation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out to my brother Rafe the Emperor. Rafe says Puertorock is the motherfucking truth. The Batman that gave me. Here's my. Correct me if I'm wrong. PS Now is the streaming service, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus is the online what you pay for, right? Two different services, right?
Yeah.
Even them selling 5 million consoles doesn't have anything to do with PS Now, right? And again, I'm just looking at it from.
No. What I'm saying is, so when you like, for example, if you subscribe to PS Now, you don't pay for PSN Plus.
Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is, when you sell a console, right? When you sell a console, not only do you also sell the games, because that's really the point of buying a console, right?
Okay.
You're also going to get PSN Plus, right? Right? Now, the first 5 million users, I would say the first 10 million purchasers of the console most likely will be the ones to get PSN Plus. They're going to be the ones to get PSN Plus because they're the hardcore.
Plus.
They're the hardcore. They're the hardcore.
You think? But again, I'm a hardcore. I don't have PSN now. You know what I mean?
What?
I'm not talking about paying for online. I'm just talking about paying for the streaming service.
No, I'm not talking about the streaming service. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. All right. This is what I'm trying to say. Sony's in a position where they have to balance two strategies. All right. They have to balance their console hardware sales, right? Convince the consumer, hey, this is the best shit, yada, 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 right? And try to build up PS Now subscribers, okay? You know what I'm saying? Right now, Sony's challenge is building PS Now subscribers. You know, they're trying to get to 5 million, right? What I'm saying is, with their console, they could get 5 million people with a snap of a finger. That's like almost guaranteed within the first 3 to 4 months. That's easy for them.
To PS Now?
No, not to PS Now, to buy the console.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To be a PlayStation 5 gamer, snap of a fingers, they'll get 5 million within the first 6 months with PSN Plus subscriptions and game sales, right? Mm-hmm. So you know Sony don't want to fuck that up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So Sony strategy, I could think a possible strategy Sony could do is PS5 launches. We're going to leave the way things are for the first 2 years. We're going to get the hardcore so none of them bitch that, oh, why is this that? Why is this on PS Now? You're not focusing on my console. Let them get the PS5 now. Let them get the PS5. We'll sell 10 million within the first year. We'll get 10 million just like that. 15 million within the first 2 years, right? And then when Sony feels comfortable, you know what? We got the hardcore. Now we're hitting the apex of the casual. You know, it's kind of like what Microsoft did, right? Microsoft didn't announce, Xbox games with PC games day and date when the console launched. They waited 3 years for that motherfucker, right? So 2 years into PS5, I could see them saying, hey, we're going to put our games on PS Now day and date. And at that point, all the hardcore that would bitch, would spread negativity, make the brand look bad, it's too late. You already own the console. It is what it is. The decision's done. You already own the PS5. You already bought the games. You already subscribed to PSN Plus. The deal's done.
Hey, my man, Chad. Shout out to Chad, man. 23. I heard P-Rock got the OG Game Boy in his pocket, right? Now and
that shit still has more exclusives than Xbox.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Now, I look at it, and then I'm gonna go to little parts of the article because it kind of divulges what they're playing, and I get you before them, because I think if you're gonna buy a console, you're gonna buy a console regardless, right? And I think I know with them putting their games any and everywhere. You let this fucker get away with this bullshit. No, I'm letting him talk. Man, I'm getting his.
Shut your flat earther ass up.
I'm getting his opinion, man. Anything says today can't be just let it show, but I'm just saying again. Overall, because I ultimately, right, and it's a business, right, and I think You're like me, more or less, from as far as the old school traditional way of gaming, right? And I get bullshit. I don't want that to go anywhere, right? But I've also come to the realization, just for me, obviously I know some people that know some people, right? Just talking and them, because it is a business, right? And I'll give you an example. You look at a motherfucker like Microsoft, right? Made the most, right? They're making the most right now they ever made in gaming. And before something, I'm not counting Microsoft pockets. I can give a fuck about that, right? But they're making their money on software and services, not coming from the box. And they're selling like dog shit. Even with Sony, those big numbers that they made more money than Xbox, more money they ever did, more than Xbox and Nintendo put together, is from their software and services, not from the box. And to attract again, how you say that 2 billion gamers out there, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, whether we agree with it or not, whether they not like it or not, if God of War goes to whatever service day and date, I'm still gonna buy the fucking game. You know what I mean? We can sit back, whatever, long as it's still a good fucking game, and that's all to me that what matters. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. And to me, that's all that. I was shout out to Chapman. Post up going to take them $2 back. Watch them. I think they left the donation. That all that matters. You know what I mean? When the smoke clears, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I heard your point. We was talking. You say I don't want them to do those more or less, services type game. Them bullshit type games. You know what I mean? And whether they chim that to a cell phone guy, I don't look at it like that. You know what I mean? What's happening? I would never whoop out a fucking Xbox or PlayStation controller out of my pocket and play on my phone. That's not for me. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of gamers. For example, the casuals, such as I'll give my grandson, right? That might want to play the new Uncharted, right? But his mother ain't got the money to get a couple, so she can't afford to get him a PlayStation 5. But he can pop like when your controller, plug his controller inside the TV and still enjoy Uncharted 5. You know what I mean? There are a lot more of them out there like that will just, be able to consume or have their, be tied into Sony's ecosystem. There's so much money to be made outside of like that. And again, this was told to me by somebody within the industry. Not so much of you playing, Uncharted on your cell phone. Some people can't afford to have. Look, you said you don't really give a fuck about Xbox, right? But there might be 1 or 2 games you might want to play. And if this shit works, I'm saying all this is predicated if it's a console-like experience. And if what I sampled a few months ago is just the start, whether you like it or not, we don't need a fucking console. Like, I'm just being fucking honest. You know what I mean? And maybe I don't know what it may be when it gets to the public. I'm saying again, what I did when I sampled here a few months ago, Puertorock, it scared the fuck out of me. You don't need a fucking console. You know what I mean? I like going out, standing in line midnight, waiting in line, talking to a bunch of people out there. That's a part of my memories of gaming. You know what I mean? And it's sad to me that, hey, maybe that shit may be going away. You know what I mean? But hold on, let me get some of these bills. Do you understand what I'm saying, P Rock?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, shout out to Game on Mally, ZMP. Have you seen the Anaconda exclusive news? We're gonna talk about that too. You know what I mean? But like I said, I want to talk to P Rock about this right here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. But there's some things we need to clear up. But go ahead and pay the bills first.
Oh, this morning? I think that's it. Post up, gonna take the $2 back. I think that's got it. MZ said, I'm gonna let you get away with the bullshit. No, we're just talking. Might get in the way. But that's what I'm saying at the end of the day about fucking, as long as that doesn't go away. And I don't think they're gonna. I think we're still gonna get,
There's another one. There's Chad Main.
About the $2? Left another one?
Yeah. You said that?
Yeah, I said that already. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay, all right. So here's the thing. So, and then you said Gamer O'Malley?
Yeah, so he said P-Rock, let's get back together, yeah.
No, he said ZMP, have you seen that?
Yeah. We're going to talk about the 14 and up. We're going to talk about that.
Okay, so cool. Hey, so here's my thing, right? So the biggest point I've been trying to express, and until now, when Mass Piscatella, the dude MPT dude, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, he put out like a series of tweets, right?
Yeah.
And his tweet is hitting the point home, right? Because Post Up, Needles, everybody's talking about, streaming's big, they're going for big money. And I've been saying, you heard me saying this, the mobile gamers don't really give a fuck about our games. So where is this assumption that our games are going to make it big on a platform where the people who play these platforms, which is mobile, tablets, or whatever, are already playing the games they want because they're free, right? And then, of course, people saying, it's the service. They're going to be playing big blockbuster games. So I'm going to read you some of the tweets that Matt Scatilla came out, right? And he's pushing this with facts from, the Gamer Segmentation Report. So there's an organization that's Eater, EEDAR, Gamer Segmentation Report, right? And he says, according to them, 2 out of 3 Americans, and this is based on America, right? The biggest market, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
But you know the markets aren't all that different. Yeah, the games might change, but the demographics are generally the same. You know, average gamer is 35. They play this. So, so basing this off the American market is a pretty good gauge, right, of what's going on, right? So in America, right, 2 out of 3 Americans play video games of some sort. Of those that play, that means the 2 out of the 3 that do play have spent $0 over the past 6 months on gaming, choosing only free-to-play, primarily mobile games, okay? So now, as he goes on, he breaks down. So now let's break down the demographics of American, right? So 1/3 of America don't give a fuck about games. So right off the bat, you already lost them, right? That it doesn't matter what you release. They don't care about games, okay? So now you're talking about the 2/3 of Americans, right? Between the 2/3 of Americans, half don't pay to play games. All right. So his question is this. He put he goes, so then we come back to the half of the current gaming audience that is willing to spend. No, not this one. He said a serious tweet. Let's start with the 2 out of 3 that play video games. Are the remaining 1 out of 3 active rejected video games in an audience that will not adopt even mobile games, let alone more immersive content? I argue that a high percentage of this group are exactly like that, right? And then he made a poll screaming, God damn, he has a lot of shit. He's asking, all right, so the 1/3 that don't pay to play games, how do you convince them to pay for a streaming service when they already are used to not paying to play games at all? So how do you advertise for them? So highly unlikely this service is for them, because the service of, let's say, $15 a month isn't really for a group that already plays games for free. That's like trying to fucking sell Netflix to fucking Post Up when the motherfucker's watching all these movies for free on Kodi. He ain't paying for shit. He's already getting what he wants for free, right? So now he's like, so the main audience is the 1/3 of Americans, right? Mm-hmm. The ones who put in money for gaming, the ones who buy games, the ones who put in, right? So he goes, so the primary audience for these services, at least to start, are the members of the current gaming audience that actively participates purchases on PC and console while also playing mobile, right? Mm-hmm. Are the cloud streaming options going to provide an improved customer experience? Will the cloud streaming options offer lower prices, exclusive content, or is it primarily a convenience play? This audience values premium experiences, lag-free play, for example. If these services cannot provide this at launch, what does that mean for the long-term option, right? And that's the thing, okay? Microsoft also pulled out a report. 56% of Americans that use internet are not, whether it's by choice or because of the restriction in their regions, are not on broadband internet, right? Whether it's by choice or because their area is restricting them from access to that. So right off the bat, 56% of the internet audience can't do game streaming because they don't have the service, whether it's by choice, whether they don't want to pay for it because they want to pay for that $10 Skylink a month service, or where they live at, because there's some areas that have internet because of satellite issue like that or whatever. They can't get it, right? Yeah. So 56% of Americans have internet. This shit's not an option. Stadia, PS Now, xCloud, they can't get it because they don't have the service to do it. So now you're talking about, what is it? The 44% of the internet users, right? And that 44%, are they the 1/3 that don't give a fuck about games? Take them out. Are they the 1/3 that don't pay shit? Take them out. So now you're talking about the 1/3 that does play games, and a lot of us are more about the experience of video games than simply just the convenience of games. You understand? Because most of the dudes, when they play 2K, there's dudes who have the Switch, right? Mm-hmm. They don't play that shit outside. They play that shit in their living room.
Pretty much.
You see what I'm saying? Like, most people aren't really playing the Switch on the bus. You don't see a fleet of 30 million people on the bus playing Switch. Most of them, they play it at home. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, like, if you play 2K and you mostly play 2K at home, do you really give a shit about going mobile with 2K?
No.
Most of them don't.
Hold on, let me get these 2 bills right here. I got a slightly different take. Needle said, is there a Verizon thing still trolling some of that ad we saw? Chadman23, P-Rock, how long you going to wait for the PS5? 2023 or 2030? Shut the fuck out. AP the shooter. P-Rock, you going to be a part of that 5 million with us. Hold on 1 second. Massa put up a good point right here. Where did he go? Hold on. He said the problem with these types of reports is the people that they survey on us or our kids is some random people that don't play games. They take surveys, and Mr. Clark said, do you think that streaming is going to give companies more of an incentive to put out a lot of shovelware games because they will have more customers? And here's the deal. I see what you're saying as far as the mobile thing, right? But like I said, I look at it from a totally different aspect because I give you an example. My wife plays Peggle on her cell phone all day. She's not going to play Uncharted on the phone. That's not for her. That's
the same thing with my wife. My wife ain't playing that shit.
Yeah, will be considered a gamer because she does play games.
Yes,
that's not for her, right? I'm talking about for again, the younger guys, kids that play video games. Not just, and again, will play games on any and everything. Don't care how did they get it. I'll just give you an example of my grandson. He wants to play Fortnite, what TV doesn't matter. Fortnite or he likes Injustice. He don't matter again what's on the PlayStation, whether it's on the Xbox or whatever. You know what I mean? There again, I don't know the numbers, but there are a bigger, larger demographic out there. You're gonna have two competing servers, probably more than two. You know what I mean? And what's gonna probably separate these servers from each other are their exclusive content, right? Sony has a shitload of classic IPs, right? Or just look what they got, right? They've given us this generation, right? And just going back again to the 500,000 that they're trying to get, they go to 5 million. They're trying to go from 7 million to 700,000 to 5 million, right? Next generation, let's say, when the place fuck. They say this is according to them. Streaming is going to play a major part in their revenue next generation, right? And they want to bolster their content. The only way to do that is to add more content to the service. You know what I mean? To make it more attractive. Nothing be more attractive than here day and date. You got the new God of War. I'm still going to buy the game. And again, like I said, those who are going to buy it, they're going to buy it. But I told you I will sign up for the service. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of games like the Yakuza, this that comes out. I say maybe the niche titles that I'm not going to more or less, or Fist of the North Star, she's playing for them, that I'm not going to go out and play 60 people, but I wouldn't mind trying it for 10 to $12 a month, you know what I mean, and keep the service like that. Just like I got with Netflix, I got Hulu, I got Amazon Prime, I got all these goddamn shits coming out my card that I fucking forget about, you know what I mean? I won't have a problem with that, you know what I mean? So there is, like I said, a shitload of money, and again, this is their goals, and again, fuck what we feel, this is what they want and their projection, them saying, hey, streaming is going to play a major part of our revenue next generation, you know what I mean? This is what we made our money here for streaming, for downloads and Blu-ray this year. It's I bring the chart back up. Next generation, it got download, Blu-ray, DVD, and streaming. And then again, we will be considered the quote unquote the 1%.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm trying to point out is it's not going to be easy road as people think for Sony, for Microsoft, for Stadia, for none of them. There are challenges to get streaming. It's not going to be as simple as, oh, we got streaming, boom, everybody's going to jump on board. Like I said, right off the bat, 56% of users can't use it. They can't. So right off the bat, you already have more than half of the people that can get consoles. They're not going to get streaming. Doesn't matter who it is, because they just can't get it. People are forgetting that your streaming service, right? Mm-hmm. The quality of service that you get, it isn't in Sony's hands. It's not in Google's hands. It's not in Microsoft's hands, right? Go talk to Kingsblood on how he liking Comcast in his house. Mm-hmm. He hates the shit. He can't do game streaming, even if he wanted to. If let's say Kingsborough was like, yo, Z, I'm down. I'm going to get 8K 120 on Stadia. Now with his Comcast service, he can't do it. It's not, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, it's not going to be an easy road for any of these companies. What?
15 up, 15 down?
You could ask him. That's how it is. People that the minimum requirements, it's so like right now, I got 300 megabyte internet, right? Yes. In Germany.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work here on what the fuck I got. It doesn't work. It's laggy as fuck. And I got 300 meg and I'm in Germany. I'm in Europe. Yeah. It doesn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work for everybody. One, again, there's gonna be people who can't use it at all. Simply because, again, and this is a Microsoft report. They push it out. 56% of Americans that are on the internet do not use broadband. So that audience is already gone. That's that audience. You can't use them, right? And then you got the other audience, right? That's split between people who don't give a fuck about gaming, and then the two groups that do give a fuck about gaming. One don't want to pay for shit, and then the other one most likely wants the best experience. You understand what I'm saying? You know. So how big is the group that can actually go streaming and get the best powerful experience? Like you said, oh, I got none. You're probably most likely talking about a few motherfuckers in New York, Jersey, Florida, Charlotte, Virginia. You know, people who have like in my neighborhood, well, where my house is at, there's no Verizon Files in that motherfucker. The only motherfucking service I got is fucking Spectrum. Go look at Spectrum quality of service. That's all I got. I got nobody else. I have no options. I can't go fucking with anybody else in that fucking neighborhood. Spectrum or just don't get internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doubting Sony's gonna go this route. You know, so I have no doubt that PS Now, and remember, if you look on the slide, right, each slide is titled their strategy. They even put it, like if you scroll down, I got the complete slide. Yeah. Strictly from what they're saying. They have the short-term strategy, the mid-term strategy. What you're talking about is their long-term strategy on what they want. And that's all, and that's how I see PS Now is. It's their long-term strategy. And I even said, prepare for a day where we won't even get a PlayStation console. It's going to eventually happen. Because that's really the ultimate point. Because think about the billions they will save.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. That's
what but people thinking that's going to happen in the next 5 years.
No, I know. No,
it's going to be a slow growth.
You know, I won't say. I'm not going to say that's going to happen in the next 5 years. You know what I mean? But I've always said, and it's going back to people look at it like this, right? I was trying to explain to this guy. He said, "Well, Sony, why would they stop selling consoles? They sold 100 million consoles, and fine, but you know, it's just still money in the R&D. They're making the consoles, the tax, the tariffs, them shipping them, and this, that, and the other. Imagine they can still. I'll give you an example. So look at Microsoft making the most money they ever made, right? Without the box, you know what I mean? Who the fuck is buying an Xbox right now? And they made $3 billion in profit. You know what I mean? Sony's most money they ever made, more than the. You think about Sony's most fucking successful generation is the PlayStation 2, right? What the PlayStation was, the PlayStation PS Plus and the service and shit made more money than fucking Xbox and fucking Nintendo for whatever year that was. Like that's without the static goddamn box at the end of the day. I like the box, you like the box, is that and the other. But again, you know, what do you mean by when he, and then again we can move it forward because I want two things I want to ask you. When he said consoles are niche. Like what did you feel like? What you say this is what the company is saying, you know, and what was your thoughts when you say consoles are niche? Like, you know, the boss, like what was your thoughts?
I have to look at it, so someone sent me of the audio. So I have to, so in my opinion, for my face value, looking at the slide deck, consoles are niche. I see from the information provided, consoles versus how many devices are out there that can play games. And then, and if that's the context they're talking about, let's say for every one PlayStation, there's like 10 phones and tablets and PCs. You understand what I'm saying? So from the slide, I see it as that. He's talking about need. You understand what I'm saying? Some other people, I think, is damage control more than anything else. Because it was a press conference in Japan. Some people are saying they're just strictly talking about Japan. I don't think so. I don't see why Sony Japan would just talk about Japan in themselves. I think that is PlayStation global strategy.
God, that was a spin right there. I need to use that one.
yeah, but that's what you know. But I'm like, I don't see why Sony Japan would just talk Japan when they're talking about the overall PlayStation product, which includes a global. Hell, Japan's one of the smaller areas. Right now, the dominant area is actually Europe. If you want to look at it, PlayStation's most dominant market is Europe, followed by America, then Japan. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really make sense to just focus on Japan. So I didn't really get that. But like you said, like consoles niche is just like that. You know? So let's say if you compare a console to a phone, there's a lot more phones and tablets out, okay? Which is the truth. It's just more, there's more people playing games on phones and tablets than consoles. My argument has always been, but what games are these phone gamers playing? You know, you could say there's a billion phone gamers, whatever, but if the majority of them are playing bullet hole and cross puzzle, then what's the fucking point? Like, you know, you're not going to make money off them if they're not really interested in God of War. You know, let's say, for example, if the majority of phone gamers are made up of your wife, my wife, then you ain't selling God of War to them. It doesn't matter how many devices they have. They're not buying your shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a fact that they have to look into. You understand what I'm saying? But I think ultimately Sony's going to grow their PS Now. That's just obvious. It's going to get bigger. It's going to be a more important factor. The question is when they're going to bite the bullet and make it alternate option to play their games, you know, vice a dedicated console. Right now, if you look at the landscape right now, they have it set to where PlayStation 4 is the primary means to play PlayStation games because you're not guaranteed everything on PS Now. So PS Now is not a good option. Sure, they have a few games. You could get Bloodborne. They have Until Dawn. They have a few multiplats. You know, notice they don't got Anthem. They don't got Red Dead. They don't got Resident Evil 2 Remake. So you know what I'm saying? So PlayStation Now right now is not a good alternate option for a PlayStation 4. When will they make it a good alternate option for the PlayStation 5? That's the bullet. And I think they're going to hit that bullet when they feel more comfortable that how you could say the infrastructure is more available for people to get PS Now. You understand what I'm saying? You know, for example, if 56% of Americans can't even get the motherfucker, then they're not the priority. The priority is the majority of the group that could get a console. You understand what I'm saying?
Hold on, shut up, Mr. Clark. He said Microsoft gave us Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, Crackdown, Super Lucky Tales without streaming. Imagine what we're going to get if streaming takes off, shaking my motherfucking head. Post up with the close up. There is 24.7 million Americans. Jesus Christ. I'm a little upset that you even know that many numbers, but 24.7 million Americans without internet access. But Microsoft was working with ISPs to fix that lookup airband and initiative.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. Look, Google has their initiative, right?
Yeah.
You know, like for example, do you know when I first heard of Fios? 2001.
Okay.
That was 18 years ago, right?
Okay.
And there's still places that don't have Verizon Fios, you know, and all that's cool, but that's going to take time to build infrastructure. You understand what I'm saying? It's not something that's going to happen over the next 3 years, you know what I'm saying? Or the next 4 years. It's going to grow, right? And then also remember, a lot of these companies like Comcast, Spectrum, Cox Cable, they don't give a fuck about gaming. They're not like, oh my God, cloud streaming is coming. Ooh, let me build my network to make sure you guys don't give a fuck. If anything, because we don't have, what's that shit called? The fucking shit that was fucking net neutrality. They'll take advantage of the shit. They might be like, oh, you want the best internet for game streaming? We have a separate service, but we're going to charge you an extra $100. They could do that. We don't have net neutrality in this country. So, right, so let's say you get Cox Cable or Comcast, right, or Spectrum, right? And you got 200 megabit service, but your shit, you know, your streaming service is not really good. And you tell Time Warner, hey, what the hell's going on? You know, I got Google Stadia, I got xCloud, I got PS Now. Even though I got 500 megs, it still sucks. They tell you, oh, that's because we have a separate service if you're a gamer like that. And for an extra $75 a month, we could give you the bandwidth to run that shit perfect. And you'd be like, what the fuck? So I got to pay $150 for regular internet and then an extra $75 just to make my shit work? And they'd be like, yep. Do you want it or not? No, net neutrality. Or the lack of net neutrality. They could do that shit. You see what I'm saying? Time Warner has no incentive to see Google being successful get game streaming. They have no incentive to see Microsoft be successful on xCloud. They don't give a fuck. That's not their shit. But if you want to use it, hey, we got it. And people think that I'm bullshit. They have that shit here in Europe. Like I have my phone plan, right, for that, right? So it's actually, you know, capped at, you know, you could choose 2 gig, 4 gigs, 10 gigs, whatever, right? And if you go over your gigs, they throttle your shit down to the kilobyte. Yo, that shit is super slow. Like, yo, it's fucking, you could barely go through Twitter, right? Right?
Yeah.
But they have a plan, right? Where they have these 5 packages, right? And depending on the package you pick, it don't count to your data plan, right? So me, I picked the social media package. So YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all that shit, that don't count towards my my data cap, you know, my data cap, right? But I gotta pay an extra €15 a month. Now think about it. I'm using the internet. I'm on their network, right? But to protect myself within the little data cap, they have a separate plan that, all right, if you pick this specific plan, it won't count towards your data plan. So like anytime I'm on Facebook, anytime I'm on YouTube, anytime on any social media, no kilobyte, no thing is usage. You know, I got pretty much unlimited usage of Twitter, YouTube, or whatever. Okay, but everything else goes towards against my plan. So if I'm using Netflix, if I'm using Amazon Prime, if I'm on a web shit, whatever, anything that's not social media based, that goes towards my. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's already happening. It's already happening. These guys can now tier their internet service specifically. Could be like, hey, you got 200 meg, but your streaming sucks. And then the company will tell you, oh, that's because it's not optimized for streaming. Do you want to optimize for streaming? Yeah, I want to optimize for streaming. Cool. Another $50 a month. And you'd be like, what the fuck? Hey, you want to optimize for streaming or not? And you'd be like, you motherfuckers. So don't think these ISPs care about what these other companies doing. It's not their business. You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, a lot of them don't have competition. That what needs.
They don't. Like I say, yo, I'm near a military base, one of the biggest bases the Marine Corps has in Jacksonville. So it's a huge community, right? And the only people. Oh, here's the thing: we used to have two cable providers. It used to be Time Warner and Charter. They were the competition between the two. Don't you find that ironic? They merged.
Wow.
So when they merge, who's left? Nobody.
Yeah.
There is no competition. If you live in a city where the competition was Time Warner and Charter, you're fucked. Because now there's no competition because they're the same company now. They're Spectrum. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's legal. No one's saying a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I know from Time Warner, and you seen my dog shit internet, I know I will never be able to enjoy streaming from any platform because Spectrum sucks ass. In fucking North Carolina. They suck ass. So I know that's not an option for me. Even if I wanted it. Even if I was out there like Needles, streaming fanboying out there, I can't get it. Because Spectrum sucks. They just don't let me do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are the challenges Sony's going to face. Those are the challenges Stadia's going to face. It's everybody.
Yeah, like I said,
so it's going to go, but if people thinking it's going to be, you know, the Night King crossing over the fucking wall, that ain't happening. Yeah. They're going to be stuck in the north for a long while. Are seeing game streaming being prominent, and again, infrastructure is a limiting factor.
It's key. I mean, I dig it. I'm just gonna say, like I said, and then before I switch topics, there's two things I do want to ask you. It's coming. You know, like I said, they do have some technology. I don't know.
It's coming.
Yeah, but it's pretty. Like I said, all of it works. You know what I mean? Like I said, what I sampled, it worked. Didn't have an issue. Worked flawlessly. You know what I mean? But
you got files, right?
I have files.
Yeah, fuck nigga.
Yeah, you know.
Fuck you think we got? You out here like a Lannister, fucking in fucking King's Landing, and my bitch ass is in the fucking doing the Night's Watch. You know, let me tell you something. Y'all Xbox are the fucking Lannisters of this gaming shit. I'm out here fighting the Night King, rallying everybody. Y'all motherfucking King's Landing, fucking each other's sister. Right over here. Fuck you.
hey, yo. But E3, what is E3's next Sunday, right? E3's next Sunday, right? Phil Spencer came out yesterday and said that he has 14, Microsoft has 14 first-party games that they're going to show off at E3. The most ever, I guess, maybe in the company's history, whatever the fucking case may be. Then, like I said, we have rumors, more or less. And again, I'm not submitting to me, and I got into it yesterday. I said the problem that I have with Microsoft E3 is just that I just about know about everything I'm going to see when it comes to E3. And I gave them an example. When Sony's E3 2016, probably the best one I've ever seen in my life. Because, again, I didn't know about God. They swore it down here. I didn't know about God of War. I didn't know what was coming. Of course, I know we was going to get another God of War, yes, but I didn't know I was going to sit on the stage. I didn't know anything about a Horizon or whatever. You had Days Gone, you had Spider-Man. All that shit kind of caught me off, you know what I mean? But I have a list here, and I'm going to get your opinions about the list, right? He said you're non-biased opinions. Like
okay, but before we go there, so how many exclusives they said?
14 first-party titles. 14.
Okay, so let me ask you something. We both saw E3 2018, right?
Yes.
We saw that, right? Yes. So I got the image right here. Phil Spencer standing, and behind him it says E3 2008 briefing, and it says 50 games, 18 exclusives, 15 world premieres. Yep. This was last year. Can you name me those 18 exclusives?
No.
So let me ask you this, and this is true. We're gonna be men about it. You ever heard the phrase "fool me once,
yeah,
shame on you"? I like George Bush. You know, when he said it, he says, you know, he was like, I heard this phrase in Tennessee. It's in Texas, but I think it's in Tennessee. He's like, and he says it in that slow old voice. He's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, a fool can't get fooled again. Yo, like seriously, Z, man to man. This is Martin. I'm Martin. You're Zaire. When with Smith telling you 14 exclusives, do you really have confidence and believe him?
No. I listen.
Are you confident in that statement? Like, do you like last year he said 18 exclusives? Like, should we really give this dude face value?
No. Here's the thing, Puertorock. Listen, really? I'm what you call a rare breed. I know my integrity is always in question. But I've been hopped off that hype train. You know what I mean? I guess I wasn't hyped up by them buying 14. Not 14. All these new companies, all these new LLCs and mergers. It's all about the fucking games at the end of the day, right? You know, so and again, I'm not saying they had a bad showing, but, you know, my problem with Xbox, with Microsoft, we haven't had any big games in the last 3 fucking years. You know what I mean? And any new game announcements. I understand I saw some great multiplats there. Overall was a great show, but I'm looking at Microsoft or the Xbox because I wanted to see some fucking exclusive content. And not that I don't give a fuck it's going to PC or Steam. I'm just talking about shit I can play on my Xbox, right? Now, 14, right? Now, and again, he has said a lot of shit in the past. I said before, Phil was a goddamn lie. He's a double agent, right? I heard that the Xbox was going to get some exclusive. The PC is going to get some exclusive. I don't heard all types of shit.
He did none of that, bro.
Yeah, so again, I'm not looking at Phil as the savior, you know, as the savior of gaming. No, I'm not. Oh, my man, Mr. Clark said Phil giving us with bait and switch for 14 exclusive. Now, these 14 first-party titles, I'm going to be honest with you, we can count here in the chat. My man Neff said, check your DMs. I'm going to check it right now. Sid, I'm going to bring that up right next, all right? He said, 14. We're going to see some Forza DLC. That's 1.
Okay.
We're going to see some Sea of Thieves DLC. That's 2. Okay. We're going to see Age of Empire, most likely on the Xbox. That's 3. Right?
Okay.
You're going to see Minecraft. This number one selling goddamn game in the world. They got a new Minecraft game.
The Minecraft Dungeons?
Yeah, you're going to see that. That's 4. You're going to see Gears Pop. You're going to see Gears Tactic. Well, I'm at 6 right now. Okay. You're going to see Gears of War 5.
But these are exclusives?
For 14 or first-party titles.
First-party titles. Okay. Yeah, so Microsoft made games.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Gears. Then we got Halo. What do you call it? Infinite. So what I'm at 8 right now. I got 6 more.
Fable maybe.
Fable. We at 10. We got 10.
Battletoads.
Yeah. Battletoads 11. Ori and the Blind Forest.
Turkey.
Yeah. 12. What is it? We got, what's that shit goddamn game? Outer Worlds that Obsidian is working on.
Okay.
And Wasteland. You know what I mean? Also, you know what I mean? So that's already 14. Unless I hit a missed on one. We also had that rumored game from what's that? Team Ninja, not Team Ninja got that game. What's that?
Hellblade, Ninja Theory. Oh, Ninja not Theory. Even. Supposedly it might be a player, like kind of like
you know, yeah. And so I'm not really excited about that. Hold up, my man Game O'Malley. He said, Z, you're missing the Xbox Anaconda news. They're tearing us apart. Anaconda will have no Anaconda exclusive. It's a fucking rap. Jesus Christ.
Yo, Sports was like $2. He said, so we counting DLC as games? Okay. I'm like, whoa, what else?
Hey, Post, they said 13 first-party studio. Hey, yo, listen, Gamer O'Malley, do me a favor. I'm going to make you an admin, bro. Could you leave that link here in the chat for me?
Hey, I'm going to say this.
He already is I'm on right here. Could you put the link here in the chat so I can take a look at it? So we're counting DLC as the games. Okay.
I'm going to say this. So for the now, because right now what I have is an PlayStation, right? Yeah. I'm gonna eventually get a Switch. I'm gonna get a PSVR. What?
Ew. For what? Like,
I mean, listen, I'm not getting a Switch because of the fucking party chat. I just want to play the games. That's it. You know, the few games that I got. You know, I'm not gonna do no sexual deviant fucking boards and shit like that. I'm not gonna do maps on Super Smash Brothers with penises flying everywhere. I'm not doing none of that sexual deviant weird shit. Mm-hmm. But there's games I do want to play. I want to play. Whatchamacallit? I do want to play Zelda because I love that franchise is good. I also want to play fucking Bayonetta 3 and stuff like that. So there's a few games I do want to play. I want to play Octopath Traveler. There's a few games I want to play. So So it's cool, whatever, right? But that's for another conversation, right? I got an Xbox now, so whatever games that I want to play now, I'm gonna play now on the Xbox One. So Gears 5 is coming out September, October. We all know that. I'm gonna play that motherfucker. I'm gonna work out with you guys. I'll probably get into the multiplayer just to fuck around with you guys and shit like that. But I want to play that. For the foreseeable future, that's what I'm gonna rock with. Okay. For next gen, I'm gonna be looking for the PlayStation 5 as my primary way to play games, and I'm gonna be looking for PC as my secondary platform. I'm not getting an Xbox. It doesn't really make sense to get an Xbox at this point, to be honest. For me, it doesn't really make sense, especially if I'm gonna use my PC as the secondary platform, which may one day become a primary platform, depending on what Sony does. Right? So I have balance on what to do for my gaming habits. Right? Okay. When I look at Microsoft's E3 Studio, I see it as no different than looking at EA, Ubisoft, Capcom. They're presenting games, cool, and I'm gonna play them. I no longer see a Microsoft press conference as an Xbox centric console conference anymore. Even Microsoft said that. You heard this dude, the Spanish dude, Mikey Barr. He said Xbox is a brand that encompasses services and games for all devices. So now they're not even calling it a console no more. It's over. Xbox as a console hardware is done. And we talked about this. I even said that. That Microsoft wants to look at their shit as servicing the industry and not so much servicing their own specific device that they're selling. You understand what I'm saying? And it's official, So I no longer look at Microsoft E3. Now I go, of course I'm going to watch Microsoft E3, right? No doubt, no different than I'm going to watch Square Enix E3. They're going to show Avengers, right? Right? That shit's going to be dope.
Yeah.
That's what's 1-3, right? But Square Enix E3 is just that. It's a provider that makes games for everything. That's how I see Microsoft E3 from now on. It's a gaming show. It's a gaming press conference. And that's it. I no longer see it as an Xbox console centric press briefing. I don't. That's just real. People don't like those words. Oh well, that's just the reality. Now, of course, people be like, "Oh, Sony's doing the same thing." So when they do it, they do it. I mean, it doesn't. This is the part is. Was it 2 years ago? Remember when one of the PlayStation 4 games went down and everybody went at me? Oh, is it? And I say yes, it's multi-plat. Just because Sony's doing the same thing, then guess what? When they start putting their games everywhere, then once again, Sony's a provider of games for every device. But right here, right now, what do we have? Microsoft's the one that pulled the trigger first. Gears is on Steam day one. And they made an official announcement. They're trying to work with more clients to get their games spread out. The decision is done with Microsoft. Sony is yet to be seen on what they want to do. You understand what I'm saying? But right now, the decision I can make, PlayStation 5 is going to be my primary platform because there's nothing else I can see I could get these games on, whatever. And if the only way I could get PlayStation games outside of a console is streaming, I'm not really going to do streaming. Because like I said, it's not going to be a good service in my house.
Okay.
It's just not. It's not an option for me. It could be an option for somebody else. It doesn't take away from an option of somebody else. If Sony provides PS Now with day-and-day games, then somebody out there could use. Like you could use it. You have files, so you could use it if you want to. Maybe Nitos could use it if he has. I think it's Moss. Moss has Google, right?
I don't know what he has. Yeah, something.
This motherfucker here, where he left?
Who, Moss? Moss here? Hello? Hello?
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So Moss, I think he has Google, right?
Yeah.
One of these motherfuckers. So it could be an option. But right here, right now, I know for a fact I don't need an Xbox next, and so I'm not gonna get it. Sony, depending on options, if they support PC natively, let's say they create the PlayStation Store on PC, just like the Microsoft Store app, or they decide to put their games on Steam, then guess what? I may not need a PlayStation at all either.
Yeah, hold on.
I could do everything on one platform.
Thing. Hold up, my man. Triple OG said, as long as we get a new Fable game announcement, I'm good. Here's my point and what I'm trying to say, right? I'm just saying, and I'm not, and again, so we do have rumored a new Bleeding Edge game from Platinum, which may look amazing. Oh, I forgot about Perfect Dark too. It's supposed to be a reboot of Perfect Dark, Fable. Fable, Fable, Perfect Dark. I never really care for Perfect Dark, but it's supposed to be doing it in a third person, more mature theme type thing. I hope they take those Shanghai assets and make a Perfect Dark game. I'll be happy with that. But I'm just saying, maybe I set the bar too goddamn high. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of fluff that I don't give a fuck about, and maybe that's what has me more disappointed than anything. All that cell phone shit, Gears Pop, Gears Tactic, and Age of Empire. I'm a console guy. I don't give a fuck about any of that Windows 10, Steam shit. I just want to fucking see games, man. You know what I mean? And maybe, and I was I didn't think about it like this, right? They said, well, damn you, that's not a good thing. It's not. And when nothing was trying to ask me, yes, it's not that. It's just that they have a lot of fluff, a lot of filler. You know what I mean? 14, you know what I mean? The Gears Pop, the Gears Tactic, the new fucking, what do you call Minecraft. So I don't want to see none of that shit, bro. To me, and again, I'm from the mindset that people are getting stoked. I try to tell them, you know what I mean? That, Microsoft is going to have a 2-hour show. Listen, I don't give a fuck about this. The world's longest show they've ever had. I don't care fuck about the show being 2 hours. I just want, it can be a 30 fucking 45 minutes. I just want to see straight fucking heat. You know what I mean? Over the top, explosion, Michael Bay, Transformer type shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about the more little bullshit as little indies and small games, bro. To me, they don't show well on the big screen. You know what I mean? It's going to be a bunch of a long ass fucking filler. You know what I mean? And if that's any indication of where Microsoft is going and is heading, even with the I'm not really excited for that, bro. Like, I'm not,
Well, Microsoft already made the decisions. The decision's done for Microsoft. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So the Xbox console hardware is not their focus. They're just done with that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, think about it. Over the last 2 weeks, just in the snippet over the last 2 weeks, Neo beta, Death Stranding release date, and what does Microsoft do? Oh, we're putting Game Pass on PC. Oh, and Gears of War 5 on Steam. Okay, can we get some news on Xbox console? Yeah, wait till E3. Like, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? So we already know the mindset for Microsoft is already to support every platform as much as they can, and I think it's going to get even more. I don't think they're just going to stop where they're at now. If anybody thinks they're going to stop this silly, right? Now, if Sony could potentially do the same thing,
come on, Neff.
Also.
Yeah. Hold up, wait quick. My man, Mr. Clark said, if streaming takes off, PS Now will be the most successful due to their great software. And again, not outside of exclusive, it'd be interesting to see if Sony can attract some third-party games. You know what I mean? You can just, that's what will make it really, a great service. They can attract some third-party, multi-plats or whatever the fuck the case may be.
Yeah, Microsoft doesn't care. They haven't for a long ass time. I've been telling you that for years. They don't give a fuck. They don't. They care about money, and the fastest way to get that money. The fastest way to get that money is software. Sony sees that too because they saw Microsoft go from the billion-dollar company, and at the time when Satya took over, they were at like $40 a share. Now they're $130. So they saw that, and they put the same type of guy in charge so that he can do the same for their company. So that's why you see him do the same type of talk that Xbox is doing, because they want to do that same type of thing. Xbox doesn't give a fuck about. They want to get everybody, Xbox, PlayStation. I don't know about Nintendo. Nintendo is very stuck in their ways, but Xbox and PlayStation want to stop making hardware if they don't have to. They're gonna make it until they don't. They are out of it enough to where the software and the services are making enough money where they don't have to.
And I do want to say this.
Oh, who that post up?
Yes, of course the games are not day and date right now. Sony doesn't have the reach right now in order to make a big enough impact. So of course you don't see their first party titles day and date. They told you that. The CEO said, look, we have latency issues. If we move it over here, then we got to worry about the other people on the end because it creates latency for them. And if we go over here, then we got to worry about the people on this end because it creates latency for them. That's why they go into Azure. Once that gets situated and they get their shit rebuilt through Azure and they able to exceed that 5 million limit and they don't have to worry about latency because Azure is pretty much everywhere, then that's when you're going to see their first party titles day to day because they don't have to worry about the infrastructure. The CEO said we were struggling. The infrastructure was struggling. At this point, even if they took the traditional model, it wouldn't be sustainable over the next 5 or 10 years, even if they would have stayed with it versus what everybody else is doing. It's just common sense.
But both of I agree. There's moving on, but all parties for streaming is going to have challenges. I already gave.
Right.
All right, we're going to talk just about Microsoft. This is from Microsoft. Again, 56% of internet users today, right, are not on broadband. That is a challenge. That is a challenge.
You say what now? What's that number?
These are 56% of internet users. Microsoft said this themselves. This is Microsoft.
I got a different number.
Hold up. 56. This is from Microsoft themselves. They gauge that 56% of internet users in the U.S. are not on broadband, whether it's A, because they choose not to be, or B, they don't have access to the service. Okay? So that's a challenge for streamers, for Google, and this is not a fanboy fighting war. This is a challenge for any company that wants to push game streaming onto the consumers. Because what you're talking about now is a huge portion, more than half of Americans, that just can't. That's like creating a burger shop, and the only way you can pay for the burger is by using a Discover credit card. If you don't have a Discover credit card, you can't get our food. That's a challenge because you limited the audience of how you could get access to this service. This is not like an Xbox versus PlayStation thing. This is a challenge Google's gonna have to go through. This is a challenge Verizon's gonna have to go through if they want to do game streaming. This is a challenge Snapchat has to go through if they want to do game streaming. Anybody who wants to offer game streaming
from what they get.
That's not old guard. That's reality.
25 million Americans.
That's not old guard. When I'm saying
25
let me
million.
make sure. Hold up. Let me end it. I'm not talking about a mentality. I'm talking about capability. If 56%.
I don't understand that because
using the internet service provider.
When was that article?
To use these services, those are customers that don't exist for Google, Amazon, xCloud, PS Now. Simply because they don't have what they need to provide these services. That's what I'm saying. That's a Google challenge. That is a Sony challenge. That is a Microsoft. That's a challenge for any company that wants to push game streaming. How do we get these people, to at least the people that can get broadband, but choose not to? Not only do we need to convince them to get streaming, but we have to convince.
Well, I don't see how they come up with that 56% because according to the FCC, 25 million Americans live without broadband.
All these companies are going to make it easy because they charge. The reason why a lot of these people don't have ISPs because they're choosing the cheapest. They're choosing the cheapest. They're choosing just enough to stream Netflix and be on Twitter and Facebook.
Right now, here's where there's two sides of this equation, right? Like I'm agreeing with you that they're going to have challenges. 100,000%. There's going to be ridiculous.
Of course, there's going to be challenges.
1,000%. And this is why sooner rather than later, they're going to start adopting the practices of the quote unquote streaming industry. And the reason is because right now, all the challenges come up. It was the same thing when Netflix started streaming. All those challenges existed when Netflix started streaming.
Mic check.
You good?
Yeah, but now here's the thing. Go ahead. Pay the bill.
Hold on 1 second. Carlos Crespin said 14 Game Pass fillers. Nobody would care about how people still making Microsoft PR and taking Microsoft PR at face value. And my brother AP, the motherfucking shooter, AK Lulu, AP Saddam was goody, flat earther. I'm back with Zoro or not. Remember, Mad said you fucking this song on C&D. Shop at Victoria's Secrets. Fuck niggas, laughing my ass off.
I still stand by that. I still stand by that statement. But I'm saying, right? The problem is that all of these challenges existed when streaming videos became a thing. The difference was nobody had broadband at all, and they were still trying to do it with dial-up and DSL and all those like interim services before we got to where we are now, right? But streaming is still as big as it is now. Because people grew through those things. The people that don't want to get broadband
I kind of see what you're saying.
I'll
say this. I see what you're saying.
Going to either way. They're not going to now because they don't really care about watching Netflix in 4K. They don't care about watching a YouTube video at 1080p. They fine with watching that shit at 320, 340, whatever random ass small number they can. They fine with watching it there, and they're not going to change. But even with those people, Netflix is still as big as it is, even with those people not having broadband. YouTube is still as big as it is, even with the rural people who are never going to do that. Those services still grew. So the reason I say that Sony is going to jump in as much as they can now is because it's early. Right now, you don't have to try to play catch up. The same reason Xperia lost to iPhone, same reason Microsoft phone lost to iPhone and Android is because you jump in too late. Right now, they're going to invest the little that they have to in order to push the service now, as opposed to when it's too big. Right? If they can abandon it if it doesn't work, and abandoning it that doesn't hurt them as much as trying to jump in later and spend the money to catch up.
I'm trying to see where the 56% comes from because
Microsoft,
according to FCC, 25 million Americans don't have access to broadband, and 19 million of those Americans are in rural areas.
Yeah, no, but your number is separate from our because your numbers could be inclusive to the 56. Because remember, Microsoft is saying 56% of Americans who use internet. So first take the whole entire population of internet users in America. So that's a much bigger number than 25, 50, 60 million, you know?
Yeah.
The entire population of internet users.
I get it now because you said who use it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so the entire...
Even though they use it, they might don't have access to it at home.
56% of that population...
on who they can touch, like who their servers are.
Yeah, I got you.
Their servers have coverage areas
everywhere, so they know. So what they're saying is
people they can touch.
Yeah, so all users, pretty much they can touch, right? All users, 56% of those are not on broadband, whether because A, it's their choice, meaning they want to use the $10, $15 a month service, or B, they don't have access. So like the 27 million that you said, right? That was the number you used, that don't have access at all. That will be part of the 56%. They will fall under that group. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And those are challenges all companies going to have. So I don't think there's going to be a huge wave storm that people are predicting for next gen. I don't think so. Only because of the limiting factors of the infrastructure. Because at the end of the day, for game streaming, it's not just about Microsoft Azure servers or Google servers. It's the ISPs. Ultimately, it's your ISP. You can have the best server in the world, but if you're on fucking Spectrum, you fucked. I don't care who you are. You on Spectrum, you fucked. You ain't using this shit.
What about 5G?
All right, what?
5G is not going to be as adopted as
hell fucking no.
Like
5G got some issues. It got some dangerous issues too. In the range, you got to have a cell phone tower every 3 or 4 blocks, bro.
It took 4G. It took 4G 12 years to get fully adapted like it is, and it's still not.
And people still spotty. Like there's still places in New York. There's still places in New York where it'll go from 4G to 3G.
The 5G, the 5G is fast, but the range is so small. You got to have the towers every 3 or 4 blocks, and then there's some issues in terms with that frequency. Side note: you got to understand our organs and stuff run at certain frequencies too. So if you go investigate 5G, you'll see the health issues that come along with that, and why some people are like down in Houston and the rural areas are trying to combat it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be as prevalent as the other, but they're gonna find some way to get it out there.
Like I troll a lot. That's pretty much what I do. But the reality is, like, this is just strictly from a business standpoint. As a business, whenever I go to, like, I own a real estate company, so whenever I go and do investments into new areas, the way I do it is I take the base market saturation, so whatever people are doing in that area, and that's what I gravitate towards. And I do it at the lowest common denominator. Right now, streaming is the lowest common denominator in the gaming industry. So Sony wants to lay that groundwork now and do it as cheap as they can. And the way they do that cheaply while still having an impact is putting their games on there. Because like we said, the hardcore, us, we are still going to go buy a PS5. We're still going to buy God of War, from on our PS5. But my kids don't give a fuck about any of that. They're going to play the games wherever they can do it, at whatever time they can, however they can. And like I said, the problem with those surveys is they survey people who would stop playing a game to take a survey. have anyone on the panel, anyone in the chat, how many of y'all have taken any of these surveys that we quote all the time? They're not for they don't come from us. They come from the people who will take these surveys, and those motherfuckers aren't gamers. Yep. So that's where those things always are skewed, because it's the people who will stop and say, all right, I'll answer these questions. Or me, I'm gonna finish playing my game. I don't give a damn about your questions. Like that's where those things they become a staple of how we say things happen, but it's not the reality of what we live. We're still going to go buy the PS5. We're still going to buy God of War Day 1. We're still going to buy all those things. But my kids, they don't care. They don't care if they have a PS5 or if they playing it on their phone. All they care about is that they playing the game that they want to do. If they want to do it in a room underneath their bed, because they have like platform beds. So if they want to do it under there, or if they want to do it on a big ass TV, they want to do it in a monitor. They don't care. And those are the people that didn't get surveyed. And those are the people that they're targeting, because they're not targeting us. They're not targeting the hardcore. They're targeting the casual who doesn't give a damn where they play their games, as long as they're playing what they want.
And then not only that though, but you also got to put in the game. And like, I'm around a lot of dudes that they don't be on the internet and forums. I don't really watch TV, but they play games and shit. And it's not till they see something that they like that they'll ask about it, or you know what I'm saying, or go buy it just off the way it looks. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of dudes that don't worry about, all they want is just to be able to play their game. That's it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't into no specs or nothing. They'll call me and say,
but that's most gamers. But but the one thing they do notice, let's say like the 2K game, if they can't make a jump shot because there's lag, they're gonna tell you something. They're gonna be like, post up.
Bruh.
Why the fuck did I lose? Because I pressed a button and the motherfuckers.
They do that shit now.
Bro, they do that now.
This Google Stadia.
My brother called me.
They'll shoot a motherfucker in the projects. Yo, you know Tyrone? I'm gonna shoot that motherfucker.
These motherfuckers have a G.
Like, what happened?
You'd be like, lag, bro. It's lag.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine game streaming.
Right the hell now.
They're gonna blame Google Stadia. Yo, Stadia make me go 0-23.
Right, but
fuck this service.
They still playing it though.
I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? But there's, like I said, there's a lot of channels. I don't get. Twitter. I'm gonna do the fuck shit. I'm gonna just piss off. But here on the podcast, I think I like what Matt said. That it's better to build it up, and if it fucks up, all right, fuck it, shut it down. We tried, but it ain't working. Nobody wanted this shit. And then to say, damn, everybody wanted, and you didn't prepare for it.
Man, I told y'all, we said this months ago that you.
Man, but Poster, no one listened to your flat earth act.
I know, man. I know.
Ain't nobody listening to your act.
I said months ago.
We try to tell y'all Microsoft putting games put in there on Microsoft platforms. Here we go, Gears 5 on Steam. I'm like, oh shit, can't wait. I can't wait to
I told Z months ago that there's no more Xboxes. I know Z can confirm that. I told him months ago, but I also said companies look more towards the next 5, 10 to 15 years out when they're forecasting. I say it's not about the present, it's where the market is going to be in the next 5, 10 years. So in this case, Mass is correct. You build it now, so when they get there, you're not left behind. Sony is like, man, we're not finna get left behind on this, even if it means we have to go over here with Microsoft and get down with their Azure service. Even though Azure has nothing to do with their Xbox side, like you said, they are a customer in that perspective. But it's a different type of relationship because they're saying, hey, I will give you this and you give me that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like what I was saying with the real estate. When I go in a new market, right? I see them building up around this. I see that this is an up and coming market, right? It may fail. It may get gang infested, riddled with violence, and nobody will want to rent here. But right now, all this shit is cheap. I see them building around it, so I'm gonna buy it while it's cheap. Then, as they build around it, my property value goes up. I now have properties. I bought a bunch of cheap shit, and I have the backing to raise this up. So that's what Sony wants to do. They want to get in right now on the cheap. So on the cheap, we can put our games day and date. It's not going to stop us from making money because we're still going to sell software.
I do want to say
this. Cheap as opposed to in 10 years, they go in and now all that shit is built up. And these same properties I could have bought for 10 cents on the dollar, I'm paying 3 times as much for.
I do want to
Just to
say
get in
this
the
because
market.
I'm podcasting and moving at the same time.
Oh, shit.
A lot of people keep saying that Sony already tried this trash and this and that. Yes, they did, and it was smart of them to walk it back. It was smart of them to take it off TVs and everywhere else and just leave it up to PC. Because you know why? They didn't have the infrastructure to support. They told y'all they didn't have the reach. It was lazy issue. They didn't have the infrastructure to maintain it and keep it going. That's why they walked it back. It wasn't if they had, believe me, if they had the infrastructure and the reach in place, PS Now will still be on all the devices that it was on. You know what I'm saying? So they had to walk it back.
So let me ask you this. So let me just a quick
Hold on,
question.
let me pay this bill right quick. Let me pay this one bill.
Why hasn't Sony?
Hold on, let me pay this one bill. Hold up. Mr. Clark said streaming.
Fuck, motherfucker.
He said streaming will fail guarantee that people haven't been playing on a phone. What will entice them to play now? I'm sorry. Yeah, good point. But yeah, I'm sorry.
So I'm asking this. So what is Sony waiting for? Because even though they don't have every game on the PS Now, still exists. Been out officially. It's been out for like 3 years because they officially launched in 2015. It was in beta for 2014. So it's been out for 4 years. 3 years of it official. What's stopping them from just saying it right now? Hey, games day and date.
You know,
Because
They don't have to wait. They don't have to wait till the service is on phone to make that decision.
You know
They
that-
could make the decision now and just do it.
no, I'm talking about from an infrastructure standpoint.
No.
That's-
Okay,
that's
yeah,
my-
I understand.
Yeah.
Two reasons.
In terms of supporting the device.
The two reasons I think. The first is they say they have a 5 million reach, but that's not 5 million simultaneous people. That's
That exactly.
right. So it says that because it looks good on the slide, but it's not 5 million simultaneous people. Like if 5 million people logged on to PS Now at one time, that shit would shut the
And a
fuck
crash. Yep.
like that shit would immediately stop. If the 700,000 logged on at one time, it would shut the fuck down. So they say that because, like I said, it looks pretty. So that's the first thing. They want to make sure that they have enough to bolster. If I put God of War on PS Now right now, or Spider-Man on PS Now
They
right
wouldn't be
now,
able to handle
that
it.
shit would shut the fuck down.
Because you got to think, in the beginning of PS Now, certain people was in key. Certain people was in a key to play a
in a queue
stream
to try to
game. They
play
had
shit,
to wait
right.
in key. So
Right.
if they put God of War in there,
And there was only like 10 people. It was Jay Barry.
Hey, yo.
You think
It was
they
Jay
put
Barry
God
and
of War
J-Tech.
Spider-Man in there?
this thing, Puertorock, you looking at the key, talking about 1,001 in key. You're going to be like, I ain't gonna sit here and wait for this shit.
Hey, yo, shout out
That's
to
the first
Platinum.
thing.
You could buy the physical copy, beat it, and you still waiting.
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, yo.
You're 200 in queue.
Shout out to Platinum Noah, who left a message on the free messaging app. He said 5G will be a game changer.
This nigga work for a cell phone company. Don't worry about him.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know, right?
It's like one cell phone company
this
too.
nigga work for AT&T. So look,
Damn, he's trying to sell us.
That
these
nigga
goddamn
trying
iPhone
promoting his own
13s and
company,
shit.
trying to get a promotion for nigga.
Motherfucker trying to promote Sprint 5G. Fuck out of here.
second
He
reason,
gonna take the screenshot to work, talking about, look, I did my promotion duties.
second reason is because I think on top of getting the actual structure to qualify what would happen if they put those big games on there, the second reason is they still have to show the hardcore what PS5 is. Because now they came out and announced every game that they've talked about so far. The Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima, that's all PS4 games.
Yeah.
So in order to show you what PS5 is, they have to reveal it and show you what the games are going to be for the PS5. And until that happens, they're not going to take the chance of alienating those people already to say, hey, you don't need a PS5. You know, because you don't even know what's on it, but you can play all these great games right now on PS Now. So I think they're gonna get the structure up first, and then they're gonna show you what PS5 is. Once you see what PS5 is, the hardcore is locked in.
Hold on one second. They want me to ask Puerto before you go. They want me to ask Puertorock, what is your thoughts about Death Stranding and it no longer being a PlayStation exclusive?
Well, I've been said that it was gonna go to PC.
Yeah.
So the only reason, people got to look at this, right? It's Kojima's new studio. You know,
Very new.
the dude needs money. Sony's not gonna screw over. Sony's not gonna screw over Kojima for making more money. You know, so They're not gonna screw him over. And Kojima's didn't build a studio just to make PlayStation exclusive.
No, he didn't. He
He
went
did.
with Sony.
If he did that, he would have signed on as a first party then.
Right.
If he
He
was gonna do
literally
that.
said it at the beginning.
He said it.
Yeah, he probably got extra money from. They'd be like, hey, Sony's probably like, hey, the game you're making, we'll give you the Decima engine, so that way you have an engine already to kick off your studio. We'll give you extra money. We'll do marketing. We want a time exclusive on our platform first.
Yeah.
And he took
And
it.
not only that, though, he said he
That's
went
all it
with
is.
Sony out of respect for their long
Right.
relationship.
Yeah, that's all that
He
is.
said that at the beginning.
People don't understand this is Kojima's new studio.
Don't
This is his.
Don't
This is his
get y'all
very.
pennies in a bunch. Y'all motherfuckers ain't getting Death Stranding.
This is his very. This is his very. This is his very. This is important because you're talking about a man's company now.
Yeah,
He no longer works for Konami.
yeah, you gonna be a multi-platinum.
You could be a Kojima and be successful, or you can end up Cliff Brzezinski
Oh shit!
and you're fucking done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
One game could end your company.
Hey, my man Al Matador said, "Can we stop talking about streaming this nonsense and start talking about some games?" Sony has the trademark.
Yeah,
Death
we're
Stranding.
talking about this shit
Listen,
right
I
here.
understand. Oh, look at.
Hello.
But Sony is not that type of company to tell. They're not gonna fuck over Kojima. If Kojima has the ability to be more successful, they're gonna finagle a way to be like, all right, let's do it like this. I think it's gonna come to PC because I don't think Sony. This is Kojima's company. This is he has employees. He himself wants to make money for himself. People gotta look at it from that aspect. Kojima is an independent company. This is he's not a Sony first party.
110%. But I didn't send UZ that for
Where he
Puerto
come
Rock
from?
because I already knew his thoughts on it. I want this shit for the chat because they're the ones in denial
Then I what?
bathroom.
about that shit going to PC.
Oh
Yeah, it's gonna go to PC.
I know, pull that shit up.
It's
Sony
Kojima's
even said that shit
Listen.
themselves.
Ignore the quotes. Just look at reality. This is Kojima's first. He needs the money.
Yeah, as a studio, yeah.
Yeah.
put
If
that
he was
shit up
gonna
on the
make
screen.
PS4 exclusive, he might sign as a first party, and then he would have been good.
Let me see.
He don't have no worries.
It is. It's been signed up as 2015. Oh, that's
I mean, look at Heavy Rain. and shit. Quantic Dream.
Yeah, from the
It's
Red
their
Dragon.
it's David Cage's private company.
Yep.
It's a different aspect. We're not talking about Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch or Sony Bend. These are independent companies.
Hey,
Especially-
I really do hope that shit
Kojima
don't
more
land
than
there.
anybody. We
I
want
just
him
want
to be successful.
the Xbox is gonna have different energy with his next game. Go multi-plat.
Oh yeah, now you're gonna love Kojima.
They gonna have a different energy there.
It's gonna be called Grand Opening, Grand Closing. What's the game
Oh,
about?
man.
You put it in the disc and it's over. And then you have to reflect that I took your $60.
Let me see right here. Bam. All right, I'm gonna share on the screen right. Twitter, Sony. Here we go. Done deal. Yeah, you see it right there. The tweet. But yeah, it's been confirmed by Sony since December of 2015. December 16, 2015, that it was coming to PC. So
That's when I read the first article, and so. Because again, you got to look at it from Kojima's perspective. It's not in his best interest to only make PlayStation 4 games, even if it is successful. Because it's still going to be successful, on PlayStation for the first year, or whatever. Let's say if it's a 1-year timed exclusive, it's going to make the money, right?
Are you impressed with the game? I ain't gonna lie, this shit's a little dull.
Just like all them David Cage games, they were all
Themselves around the world.
exclusive.
It's trickle. It's past the saturation point, right? At that point, you throw it on PC. Now it sprouts up another burst of sales, which is good for his company. So I'll be honest. I really don't care if it's multi-plat because I'm a Kojima fanboy. So if his company could grow, I'm all about it. Let the motherfucker grow, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I wish he goes to the point where he could buy the Metal Gear IP off of Konami. I hope Konami shits this bed so bad that they have to sell the IP to fucking Kojima
They
just
won't
to
do it out of
spite.
spite. Not that regular.
I'm wishing that. Fuck Konami.
Hey, yo, my
I
man
think
Bala
Konami
said-
did mess up though.
He said he said Neff got all this information, only beat 4 games a year. Fuck
Hey, I
outta
need
here.
that xCloud shit.
But now, what y'all get into tonight? What everybody on? What we doing?
I know, Z, you getting the baby in the pod version? I know you getting that baby in the pod version.
Well, hold on, can we talk about that shit real quick?
About that baby?
If I see one more fucking pony on Twitter defending a baby in a bottle,
the whole pony shit, Mass. That's just number one on Amazon.
I didn't hear shit. I didn't hear shit what y'all said.
Listen, bro,
why y'all saying
they cannot talk about Nintendo going around buying a plastic baby in the
Oh my god, Zio. Hey, oh my god, what damage control you got?
Why y'all said?
the baby.
They gotta learn how to be a father.
You buy the Death Stranding definitive edition with the baby in the
Y'all
bottle.
weirdos be buying collectibles.
You buying the baby in the bottle?
Oh fuck no, that's just $200.
You know,
I don't collect shit. Listen, dog. The only reason, hold on. The only reason why I got the Spider-Man,
all right.
I ain't buying shit. That ain't my baby. Right?
Go to Amazon right now, right? And look at the best sellers.
I can't even find it.
Wait, I'm
Well, that's a
crashing this
collector
party.
shit.
I'm crashing this party. Shut up, everybody. Shut up.
It's a new
Who's in here?
That's Omagazio. He doesn't want to accept reality.
Oh shit.
You gotta learn how to be a dad, bro.
Oh,
Mr. Mahan?
here go this dimwit.
Who
Who let this dimwit in?
Oh shit! I'm gonna tell you,
That shit's number one.
listen, it's a game. Here's the difference. Everybody's comparing this doll with the Xbox doll. I'm gonna say this: only one of them shits came with an actual game. I don't know what y'all doing with that little girl doll. I don't know what sexual deviance.
That doll don't got nothing to do with Xbox.
You got
Them dolls been out.
Listen, man, stop it, man. Y'all motherfuckers hyping.
Them dolls been out.
Fucking, yo, man, let's stop it. Y'all motherfuckers hyping dolls
First of all,
and fucking onesies.
Them dolls been out for
Fucking
years.
grown ass man was a goddamn onesie.
Dude, them dolls been out for
What the fuck is we
years.
doing
Actually, it's a community of people who buy them dolls and do the do-it-yourself, and they didn't make PlayStation versions.
Listen,
and
I
all
ain't
that
saying
stuff.
that.
Yo,
Let me tell you something.
He borrowed coastline.
You niggas around here calling
They put a cute
Nintendo.
little
Hold
headset.
on. You niggas around here calling
Gears of-
Nintendo.
Yo, I heard there's one specific doll called Crapiola with a Gears of War tattoo on her left forearm.
What you?
Them dolls have nothing to do with Xbox.
Yo, I heard one doll
You niggas out here
hyping
calling Nintendo pedophile.
Cody. One doll got a Cody
You
accent.
niggas ain't got a genie in the bottle. You niggas got a naked baby in the bottle. Fuck
One
outta here, nigga.
doll got Cody access. Stop it. And no games.
I was with you on Twitch.
You see me behind
That doll got a Steam username.
All the research you did on this fucking doll, you was like, them dolls be getting custom made.
Yo,
They do.
That's post up. Post up.
They do.
Post up did all that research on that doll.
Man.
I was with
He also found out that doll has a Steam
Shut up,
username.
guys. Shut up, guys.
The doll's gonna download Gears 5 on Steam.
Oh man, that was crazy.
Hey, these niggas gonna take that baby down. They ladies gonna be like, turn on the room, let's get it in the mood. This nigga gonna switch
shit.
that baby on. She gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
Be like, yo,
Nigga, you stay
that shit's a contraceptive right there. That
got a baby lava lamp in the crib.
Oh shit.
You are immediately not getting no key.
Pony's just trying to get some booty with a baby lava lamp.
Yo, that's
Fuck
yo on the real. Yo, on the real, that's a perfect prop. You know, if you have like a 12-year-old son and you're teaching him about sex.
Man, yo, VR, she was about to give me the pussy until she saw my baby lava lamp.
Hey, hold up. Von Lamont said the Death Stranding Collector's Edition is being sold for $400 on eBay. The Decimate engine might be the best engine out. What's your thought on Call of Duty crossplay? We talked about it at the beginning of the show. I think it's fucking awesome.
Call of Duty is dog shit.
I told
Very
you, Net is here, Nito's here.
What up?
Nito, I told you, crossplay won't mean shit until the big guns come out. Because that's what we really want to play. I mean, like, who the fuck cares about who's better in Fortnite? All it is going to be a dance-off between motherfuckers. No one gives a fuck.
Until that
For
shit
Call of
happened in
Duty?
Fortnite, Puertorock, when were we going to get this COD crossplay? Because it wasn't because they just randomly like, let's do crossplay. This happened because Fortnite got crossplay.
No
This
one
was
gives a fuck about that. I'm telling you.
the game industry, that's a
No
big
one
feature.
cares.
You're
Call
the
of
one who
Duty-
said
listen.
no one cares. It's a niche
No
feature.
one knows. Look at there's more noise about
Fortnite is the biggest game
than I ever seen.
Say,
But I
it's
told
bigger
you.
than Call of Duty.
No,
That's
no,
true.
who?
We didn't care, and like I said, that's when I said back then too. I don't give a damn about
Fortnite is dog shit to this day.
But it opened the window because it was the biggest game. It got people outside of gaming. Like I tell y'all all the time, we don't matter to these motherfuckers at all. But when that shit was on Good Morning America, when that shit was on CNN, when that shit was on Fox News, when it was on those things, talking about Sony is not doing X, Y, and Z to let our kids be free and play together and blah blah blah, and they're acting as gatekeepers. When it went to that level, that's when Sony changed their mind. And in order for this gate to be open, for COD to be doing it, for Dauntless to be doing it, and it to just be a thing rather than something they went to go ask for, it needed to happen with Fortnite. Fortnite, the biggest game in the world, needed to be that bridge.
I think Call of Duty is going to be the bigger impact than Fortnite. Because why?
Listen, man.
Because watch. Once Call of Duty has
No one
Fortnite,
disagreed with
EA has no choice. Go
That
ahead.
should
Let's say right now if we got a Call of Duty this year, right? With crossplay. Go ahead and release a Battlefield next year without crossplay. Go ahead and release,
But
the
that's
next
exactly what we
Destiny.
said.
I'm telling you, like I
remember,
said, when the
EA
big three
listen.
gets involved,
Yeah, but
it's a
EA
wrap.
said this shit
Real
before
talk.
Division. They said we
That should be more-
want Fortnite style crossplay for our games. They said that about a year ago.
Real talk.
guys
Whenever
want that.
the day that Destiny gets crossplay and cross progression,
It's
I
a
will
wrap.
never turn on my fucking Xbox again.
Hey, no.
never
Speaking
turn
of
that
Destiny,
bitch on
Sony's the
again.
one that turned that shit
I
down.
will never turn
Hold
that
up.
bitch on
Sony's
again.
the one that turned that shit down. It was
Okay,
supposed to have cross progression, but they said fuck that.
Turn that motherfucker on again.
He said,
Listen, man.
No, but let me ask you this though. There is a dark side to this. There is a dark side to this. PC's gonna kill fucking console gamers in COD.
Oh, I'm a murderer.
That shit's gonna be like shooting fish in a barrel. I'm telling you, if that happens, I'm not getting Call of Duty on PS.
I haven't.
You're
bought
not gonna play
COD
me like that.
In probably.
You're not doing me like that. You ain't gonna do me like that.
Listen,
I
I ain't going 2 for 49 because a PC gamer sniping
I
me.
am buying COD just to fuck y'all up.
Now you ain't fucking me up. I'm PC Master Race. I'm gonna get me the Xenon 9000 intuitive mouse. The mouse is gonna be the mice is gonna be more expensive than the PC. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? My shit's gonna be laser precision.
But can we agree that this is the future of gaming, being able to play whatever game wherever
With
you
Call
want,
of Duty,
with whoever you
with
want?
Call of Duty,
Yeah,
like Call of
yeah,
Duty, you have no
yeah.
choice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Call
And
of
Call
Duty.
of Duty and Madden and all these
not-
big
it's
games
not
are all
optional.
gonna have
Yeah,
it.
but y'all,
Yeah, it's not an option no more.
Yeah, but that is the
Like no one gives a fuck about Dauntless. Like get the
It
of Duty?
means 6 million players in a week.
It's a wrap. Bro, it's a
6 million
free
players in a
game.
week.
It's
So,
a free
and
game.
that's the point.
Listen. No
Hey,
one
no,
gives
but-
a fuck about that.
but Puertorock,
listen,
that's the
people.
point.
Listen, the people who played Dauntless were the last game they played was. No one gives a fuck about these motherfuckers.
No, but
Shit.
Puertorock,
I ain't buying no
That's
game.
my favorite game, man. Come on, watch him out. That's my
Hold on,
favorite
hold on.
game.
They ain't buying these
Hey,
games. You
Puertorock,
know what I'm saying?
you think
Call
Dauntless
of
is a
Duty,
shitty
you're
game,
talking
right?
You're talking about the biggest game that people pay $60 for. That's a game changer. This is the shit.
But the reason you need shit
You
like
know,
Dauntless
just-
to do it is because it'll prove to all the other motherfuckers to
That it
just
works.
do it. Right, that it works,
Yeah.
regardless of whether
That
you
shit do
COD
work.
size or whether you Dauntless.
That's just seamless.
It
Yeah,
proves
that
to
shit do
all the studios in between, this shit works, and all we got to do is just do it. So let's just do
Well,
it.
the system always worked. I mean,
Hold on
even
one second.
PlayStation 2 was doing it.
Shout out to Maker Dave. Oh, he said Horizon Zero 2. I'm sorry. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on Kojima's upgraded Decima engine on the PS5. Get ready for erection of the century. Fuck is you talking about?
You get
Yo,
hard off of video games, my nigga.
Who's
You,
that?
you might need to check
Hey.
that out. Like
Well,
women are a
Nintendo
thing,
motherfuckers
or
do.
men are a thing, or whatever you into. But you know, sex is a real thing.
Oh
If
shit.
you out
Some
here
of them
fucking your
have-
PlayStation,
I don't know.
you need to seek help.
Man.
Okay, but
Oh, yo,
I want
so-
to talk
Oh,
about
Z was
Dauntless
right,
real
man.
quick.
Nintendo dudes are sexual.
How do y'all feel about? How do y'all?
He
feel
wasn't lying. I thought he was joking. You see,
Yo, tell
oh,
these
everything has dick and balls in it.
Hey,
Every
Ron said-
stage, like you see, PlayStation Dream, they're trying to recreate PT. They're creating Star Wars
Yeah,
games.
no.
When I look at Nintendo, there's a
that's
fox
true.
fucking the world. I'm
yo.
like, what the fuck is going on here?
Hey yo, Mom said, tell these crossplay slurping and burping motherfuckers. Hey yo, listen here, right? don't know. I mean, I think it's dope, though. I think it's dope. Yeah, what y'all niggas
Yeah,
playing
like,
tonight?
imagine NBA 2K.
Yeah, I know. Imagine
That shit
Mortal
about to be
Kombat.
crazy.
They released a DLC. What's coming out with June 8th or June 18th or something?
But-
They got.
But you know, this
back-
call-
Well,
Crossplay,
look
like,
at
the
what the
games.
shit crossplay does do. Dauntless is a game nobody fucking heard of. I wouldn't have really cared about it, but because I heard it was full crossplay like that, I downloaded that shit and plenty
Man,
other
stop
people
lying.
did.
You heard
No.
once it was free, you played it.
No,
shit.
because Puertorock.
Oh, yeah, free to
Look
play
at the statistics
motherfuckers.
of the game. 6 million plays. It doesn't matter that it was free. It's the fact that
Dauntless
people
is fire,
downloaded
bro.
the bitch.
Like
And
90%
the
of people
parties-
playing didn't even realize they were playing.
And the
crossplay.
parties, Puertorock, are 60% cross-played.
Like now, most of them don't even
And
know
that's
who
not
the
a
fuck
niche
owns
feature.
what.
60%, over half the people who party up on the game do it through crossplay.
Yeah, and 100% didn't even realize it. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking.
The only people that
Moss
can tell us
said- Moss-
crossplay is a PC player. That's it.
Moss
Oh,
geriatric
see
ass.
everybody
said
else.
Nobody will care, right? Nobody will care next week. Cause
Hey, yo, I
COD
got
ain't
one
out
thing to
yet.
say. What's up with all these sexual shit going on Xbox Live? You know, these dumbass messages are coming.
Yeah, no,
in.
their bots have infiltrated. Like, legit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, motherfuckers
Xbox.
having straight conversations and shit. I'm like, oh,
No,
I
he
said,
talk-
somebody
he
said
talk
hi, I
about
said
the bots
bang,
that be
bang.
like,
How
"Hey,
old are you?"
sexy." Or yeah, they're like you get all them random ass spam bots.
Yeah, what the fuck going on?
like,
Yo,
how is that
how
possible, bro?
I don't
Like,
know.
how you get spam by? Because I had one on PSN. Looking like, how the fuck is this possible?
Hackers, bro.
Yo,
Yo,
they're making
how-
accounts, that's why. They're making accounts.
Right,
Yo, how y'all
you make
feel
an
about
account
the
for
government?
it.
Oh, hey, babe, M2K says, ask them if they would have both Dauntless. So if Dauntless was $60, y'all would still rock it?
No.
It's not
Exactly.
meant to be a $60 game, though. It's not designed.
What? No, Dauntless right now, $60.
No.
But it wasn't designed to be $60. Like, they
Man,
were putting a lot
stop
more
it.
content and shit.
Was
It's designed for free to play in mind.
was Crackdown designed for $60?
Clearly, that fucking failed. That shit should have been free to play.
I'm about to end the goddamn show right now. You getting personal. Or you got getting personal. That's personal.
Yo, how y'all feel about the law they passing about gaming being a mental issue and shit? Like the
That's true,
government.
but you know, I'll put in my thing. Anything could be addiction. Sugar, soda, it's anything that.
It's a way to eliminate
Hey, yo, slow down, you heathen. All right, we got a special
about
place in
that
hell
devil.
for your ass. All right, you're gonna be playing knack for the rest of your life.
Oh,
yo,
shit.
no, but anything could be a fucking. There's stories of kids who shit on themselves because they're stuck on a video game.
I mean, but
that's
my
not the
thing-
game itself.
If this
Alcohol.
Is a thing,
Real
it
talk,
seems
it
like they
was
want
a-
to regulate how people.
There was
how long people.
The
should
disease
There-
is the mental state.
Right, it's the mental.
The
state. There was a
gaming,
guy-
the product is just the excuse unleashes the mental state. You understand what I'm saying?
When I was in A school in right after boot camp, there was a dude who died because this motherfucker was in his room for 3 straight days, 72 hours, playing fucking what was it? Evercraft. EverQuest. Yeah, he was playing EverQuest, right? And it was just his room smelled like piss and shit, and he had just a bunch of Red Bulls. This motherfucker had a heart attack.
Oh,
shit. So the disease is the mental state. The product shows it. You understand? In this case, in particular, the industry, gaming. Yeah, there's potentially gaming could show people, hey, you fucked up in the head. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but the
same
thing
thing with
is-
alcohol,
Rules
sports, sex. There's dudes,
It's just
chicks.
another way for the government to make money selling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
They wanna
ultimately
implement-
what
they
it
wanna
is.
implement
Right, it's
rules.
just they want to make money selling you drugs, so they say
Yeah, that's
you're
ultimate.
addicted
It
to video
is.
games.
Your kid's fucked up. Here's another drug for $100 a month
Yeah,
subscription.
pretty much. But
That's
listen,
all it
ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to close this goddamn show. I'll probably be on Twitch in a little while. Praying to Jesus. Come rock out with me there. You guys on the link on Twitch. If you don't, you talking about same shit gaming. I'm gonna leave my Twitch thing down here right now. Hold up. Just give me 2 minutes, man. We're gonna be over there talking about whatever.
Yeah, I'm about to go live and talk about Xbox.
Oh, you doing a show?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
I was gonna do it right then, but I was like, we family.
Oh,
We
shit.
don't
shit,
cross
no.
streams like that, bro.
So what are you gonna talk about? You gonna talk about Steam E3 press conference?
I'm talking about
Nice.
Steam, my Steam Xbox conference. I'm 100%.
Steam E3 press conference.
Right.
Hey, yo,
I'm gonna shoot holes
When I
in all
announce
these
that.
fucking all these Xbox that was jumping out the window without parachutes, talking about 14-0 and 14 games, and I'm about to kill all that.
I said
noise.
14 games, 0 of them are exclusive.
Facts. Well, 0 exclusive. They said 14 games. They ain't say shit about exclusive. They ain't say shit about games you didn't already know about. They just said 14 games. So I'm gonna shoot holes in all that shit. Today gonna be
Get
an
outta here.
Xbox centric show. Y'all